It's funny you say GIFs and you can't say Jilly.
No, I said GIFs deliberately because of Julie. You're funny. Let's go. Hi guys, welcome to earnings season. First, I would say first, not the first earnings season. Well, latest earnings season that you're hearing, so that's accurate. I am Randy Rowe on Twitter. I'm at RT Rowe,
And I'm Danai. On Twitter, I'm H Danai.
and this is earnings season, a show where we talk about money, finance, business, and whatever else that strikes our fancy.
Usually along those lines.
Yeah, usually along those lines, and anything else really that we care about. This week is a great week because we are this week doing a Q1 review, big review episode, the true earnings season, half earnings season, what you want to call it, then?
Almost. We're in earnings season. We're expecting results. We just haven't gotten any yet. So we're really earnings season. Some things start come out already. But
True, but if you think about it, it's actually actual earnings season for Q1 because this is the Q1 review.
It's earnings season. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't actually reviewed Q1, have we?
No, we have not.
Wow. I was thinking that it's earnings season, but it is actually the review of technically Q4 of 2019 because now we have all the, well, not even all, but most of the financials for all the companies up to December 31st, right? Yeah, so for the people who might be lost on that point, come to Grow, this wonderful class that I keep, and maybe I'll throw a Grow ad in later on. Come to Grow if you want to have that explained to you. I should throw in a Grow code, We'll see. We'll see how I feel later on. Yeah. Anyway, so we are going to be reviewing the entire market and updating our portfolios, Dana, because we did promise to see how we end
Yes.
Q1. Yes, that race, that wonderful race that we were so confident before Corona. So we'll see which one of us spoiler alert, we should see which one of us lost harder or lost at all. Who knows? But yeah, so we'll be going through pretty much every company on the market. Obviously, that will take some time, guys. So this might be a little bit of a longer episode. However, don't expect us to give you long, in-depth, complete reviews of every single company because then that would take days, and you would have to be paying us for that. So, without further ado, boom, we can start. Actually, Danai, before we start that, we should talk about just the big things happening in the market because we did the Corona series and we had a couple of call-ins and we put those out for a few weeks, but we haven't spoken about like the biggest things in the market since and like actual effects. And obviously the big one is what you said, the biggest, latest one.
Repeat.
Dead air. The biggest, latest thing in the market that we have happening right now.
Right now, the dividend thing.
The dividend thing, as you
Yeah.
call it. People
I'm going to explain this, but I just didn't want
Thank
to
you,
say
sir.
Corona. So yeah, the dividend thing is so the BOJ has put a stop on the payment of all dividends for financial holding companies and their licensed deposit taking institutions. So the big companies like Sagicor, NCB, JMMB, the banks basically, they can't pay out any dividends right now.
And up until the end of the financial year.
Financial year, yes.
The financial year, which means that it's not the end of 2020.
It's 2020.
March
2021.
Yeah, March 31st, 2021. Big news, right? And they said that they're doing this to. Did they say why they're doing this?
No.
I mean, they have to give a reason. They kind of stop it. I think the reason given was. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say the official release. So hold on.
Yeah. What's at the top of my head is that they're doing it. The stated reason, I believe they said, is to protect the strength of the financial institutions and their ability to have and give out capital. But I mean, I think they usually have more than enough money for that. So I suspect it is more linked towards the US dollar protection.
That's the
Meaning not US
liquidity.
dollar protection, the rate.
Yes, and I think that's to do with liquidity. With
Yes.
so the banks have a significant liability in what you call it now, the deposits. So when you go into the bank and put the money in your bank account, the bank will lend out some of it, and they have a guarantee that they'll pay it back. But say
Mm-hmm.
they pay dividends and there's less money in the bank, so they pay dividends from their profits and retained earnings. There's less money in the bank, and something will happen, and they're losing money now. And why you come to draw your money, and it's not there, or there's a mass pull out of the bank because of whatever is happening in the economy.
Like if something
That's where money is there.
bigger than.
Yes, so I think they try to lock down and make sure the banks have money inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're ensuring that the banks can pay people back.
And what did they say? What's the official reason that they said they gave?
I'm looking for it. Yeah. You're looking around. Or actually,
What are you doing? You checking the Twitter?
wasn't it? I'm not checking my thing there. I wanted to check the actual article. I want to remember what it said.
Ah, okay. So, guys, this episode expect to hear a lot of pauses while Dana and I look at data, because that will also happen while we're going through companies, right? We're going to actually take a glance sometimes at these companies' financials and anything interesting in them.
Yeah, see there. So it's an Observer article. BOJ suspends distribution of profits by way of declaring. Reading down, the full release from the BOJ is printed below. The Bank of Jamaica has been closely monitoring the current impact of the novel COVID-19 virus pandemic on the global and domestic financial system. Notwithstanding the effects of the pandemic on normal business activities, BOJ would like to indicate that the fundamentals of the Jamaican financial system continue to be strong, with licensees' capital and liquidity exceeding current regulatory requirements and established prudent norms. So I think that line itself is why I was looking at the liquidity issue. The fact that they mentioned liquidity, and
Yes.
they mentioned liquidity to say, oh, it's fine right now, but I'm not sure that they can see where things can go south. And remember, they're borrowing money. They're looking at the IMF program right now to get some more money, the line of credit type of thing, to get some liquidity in our system if necessary. So I think that's where that comes into play. Yeah. In addition, the central bank stands to provide liquidity and other support necessary, ensure that financial institutions can continue to provide credit and other financial services to the public, limit the potential negative economic repercussions on the lives of ordinary Jamaicans, and preserve confidence in Jamaican financial system. Against this background, with a view to conserving capital and further enhancing licensee lending and loss absorption capacities, BOJ, after a consultation with the boards of the financial holding company, FHC, designates and wishes to confirm the mutual understanding that the
Right.
FHC
Right.
and the deposit institution, DTI, will suspend distribution of profits by way of declaring dividends in any manner, cash or stock, for the 2020 financial year until further notices or understanding that FHC designates and DTI will summarily postpone the distribution of any unpaid dividends declared for the 2019 financial year.
Whew. Which
There
is
we
a
go.
long way of saying no dividends from these big guys
Yeah,
for the rest of the year and until March 31st. And also any that were declared before and you were going to pay, don't pay.
no paid.
Yeah, and that last bit is important because I think that catch Sagicor, yeah, because they had a dividend declared and
They paid
didn't.
recently and haven't paid, and the payment date hasn't come as yet. So I think that's where. Oh,
It's going to be very interesting in terms of seeing how me, if I had the time, I would have done some digging to see how they can stop, especially just the one that was already declared.
mm-hmm. You mean
So
how
I
they can
wanted,
stop?
because technically the BOJ can't stop. It's a private company, you know. They don't have that much power. At least do they? So that's the
Yeah, the thing
investigation
is, the issue is that
I'd get into.
as in, as far as I know, the central bank can give
Hmm.
certain can tell banks to chill. They have a lot of leeway in where they can tell them what to do.
True. They can stop a lot
Like
of
it can't
things.
even close
However,
the business. without them saying, okay, go ahead.
True. You know what else that they do? They regulate. You know that they regulate banking hours.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Like we are required as Jamaicans to have a minimum, I think, of 24 or 25 hours of banking for
For
the
a week.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which means that's for you guys thinking. If everybody thinks, why can't we get the banks open later? If you really want the banks to be open later, just ask BOJ, lobby BOJ, not the banks.
Mm.
Because if BOJ increases the number, then the banks have to do it.
Yeah.
But right now, I think the BOJ probably wants to keep the banks happy.
Yeah, man. Because mutual relationship, Jamaica and the
Mm-hmm.
bank, you can't really, if you squeeze them too tight, they have problems. And you don't want any banks having problems, which is a big part of them. Like when you talk about all your liquidity ratios are too low or something like that, or you can not necessarily the same, but look at the fact that Key was in a situation where it is FSC and because they're
Mm-hmm.
insurance, but it's a similar type of regulation. The fact that Key was in problems because they're unprofitability and they don't have enough cash. You need to be at a certain perform at a certain level because you hold so much of people's welfare in your hands. If the bank is
Correct.
doing well, then boy, you know you have a safe environment for your money to be. So you need them
Correct.
to do
And
well.
and yep. And you hold a lot of, it's two things right now. For Key, it was around the fact that you're an insurance company, so in order to remain solvent, you have to have X amount of money,
Yep.
capital, and then also the pensions who invest in so many of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the BOJ has to be that regulator to ensure that, like, we have to act now so that we don't feel it 10 years from now. Yeah, which is also why I make such a big deal about financial literacy. Because people are like, well, I don't need to trade stocks. It don't matter to me. I'm not in stocks, so what might happen on the market
Yeah.
don't matter to me.
Guess
It
what?
does. Even
Guess what?
if you don't, it
It's
does.
twofold.
Yeah.
It's okay. So my company that I I have an insurance policy with a company,
Hmm.
and that company is on the market, so it's subject to certain regulations.
Exactly.
Can't pay me if it's not doing well. So at some level, the company is affecting me, and if my pension or insurance policy invests into that stock on the market, then why not probably that go wrong? Which we've seen with what the name I get 2018, 2008, 2000, and 2009 in the US.
Hmm.
So I was giving a weak comparison. I don't want people to take it up and say that I compare now 2008, 2009. Different situations where you have some similarities in the way things can go. Like
Hmm.
when people are talking about the fall of the US, generally US very differently because the big crash there was boy the markets to smash up now. We have no insurance. So insurance companies used to own these homes or these loans. The banks used to own these loans or pensions used to own these loans, and then all at once these loans they're not worth anything anymore. Your pension never worth nothing. Your insurance never worth nothing. Everything just went into crap. People lose them homes because they don't have a plan anymore. I think that's never make up work for a lot of people at that time.
Yep.
And I forgot where I'm going with this.
I think the point was around why it is that even if you think that the stock
Yeah,
market doesn't
so
affect you directly.
yeah, definitely. So if your pension is there, your insurance is there, then ain't no problems if certain things go bad for them. And at a certain time, like no, we're see where boy companies which are on the stock market, which we are invested in, on whatever in however you're invested in them. If those
Hmm.
companies can't continue business or do well, then we have a problem. And you see the big companies like the NCBs, the MMBs, and Strategic Cores, they hold a lot of they hold a lot of the money that is invested through whatever instrument, through the insurance and the pension. They're invested in those companies because they're huge and they pay significant, consistent dividends. So,
Mm.
which
So it hits
dividend
everybody.
point? Say your pension portfolio can't get the regular dividends that it was thinking to get for a whole year now.
Hmm.
Because they invested in NCB thinking, boy, the dividends will come. So there might be some rebalancing. They're
Yeah,
just
that's a very
delayed.
major point. Yeah. Very major point.
Although a
Yeah.
year might not be too bad a problem if they can, if the cash flow to the pension fund is good enough coming from elsewhere. So like you get in thing there. So you have a whole lot of bonds, and the bonds will actually pay well for this year. And if you never know, bonds in problems to right now. So
Mm.
let's
Well,
see.
it's a big point you make there, because I thought of the very same thing as you did when you said it. That how are the pensions going to really survive? How are the pensions going to make it out of the year? Not that they're in any real problem of becoming insolvent or crashing, but just the fact that, like, a whole heap of pensions hold NCB shares, and they rely on that annual dividend,
Mhm. And also, they a pension will
quarterly
hold
dividend.
NCB.
Sorry.
Yeah, pension will hold NCB for years, right? So you bought when you were 25, right? And now you're
Hmm.
65. You bought into the pension plan, and they were buying NCB for 40 years. When you're 65, come what they were usually, so your thing there, the cash they're just passing through that dividend cash flow to you. So your money you're supposed to get for your pension every year now, every month now, will be coming from NCB dividends probably, instead of them actually selling the NCB stock.
Hmm. As
So
long as they're,
now,
they're they're keeping off of the minimum cash
yeah,
that the pension requires to have.
exactly. Then
Yeah.
they get a dividend and they don't have to pay. They can just pay it through, just pass it through. Cause
Hmm.
I own the security. That's pass through the cash flow I getting from security, no problem. No, they might.
Now things different.
Yeah, but again, pensions they're very, very, very diversified. Stocks don't make up most of what them invested, so you might not have that issue, but they'll have to get creative and find new ways and find some level of new ways to pay. So they might be selling stock more than they usually do, more than anything, or they might just sell some bonds, or actually the bonds, if the bonds do well enough, they pay through that.
Hmm. Well, that's one consideration. I'll put the BOJ notice, the official one, in case anybody hasn't seen it,
Yeah.
in the show notes
Mm-hmm.
right here. And well, yeah, that's on major. And since so it was announced last week Friday after the market closed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the big deal was, what is going to be the effect on the
Yeah.
market
So
come
what's going to
Monday
happen on
morning?
Monday?
All right.
In
Of
which
course,
man
that
the
be
pension, there's other people they don't buy a pension plan. Other people have the action. They just bought some stocks as a pension. They're buying stocks
yeah.
for years. They bought NCB for years, and then these dividends to NCB. You find out the older people at AGMs, because this is them pension. They get them dividends for after years of investing. Am I right? After them invest
Yeah.
in these bigger companies, these financial companies. So they might be feeling it right now, and they might be selling, as we
Yeah.
can see here. I think you're going to the point what happened today with
Yeah.
today and yesterday,
Yeah.
some sell-offs happening.
Yeah. So since Monday, what date was Monday?
27th.
The 27th. Yeah. So since the 27th, NCB closed on Friday, the 24th, at 151.7 cents. It says 151.7 cents, and it closed Monday at 142, I think. Yeah, 142.57 cents. So that is a drop of almost 6%, 5.96% drop. No,
Well,
apologies. That's how much. Well, no, it is. Is my math wrong there, Danny?
I wasn't checking my math, I was checking into again on the page. What's up?
Yeah. No, it's about that. Five, a little, almost 6%, almost 6% lost in one day, and of course, the day after that, it fell again. So at the end of today, it closed at 140.32 cents.
But interesting, you look at the lows. So the low yesterday, which is
Mm-hmm.
the low on Monday, was
The low on Monday.
148.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't that. No, no, no. I'm wrong. Wait, why am I not seeing Monday on
No,
JC
no, you're
side?
correct. 148 was the
No, man.
low.
Look on the plates. And I see Monday on JC side.
Oh, aha,
Oh,
that
see,
is a
there's Monday.
common
Okay, yeah.
problem.
So 131. Yes, I finally got it. 131. So the low on Monday was 131.
Mm-hmm.
And 47,000 shares. And that's for, NCB, that's quite a bit of money.
Yeah. Yes. Quite
And low
so.
today was 135. But you can see where people were buying into it, kept it. I know some people were flipping heavily on those days. So like they bought at 130 plus,
Mm-hmm.
and they were selling back at 140 plus. Make a nice little spread there.
Wow. Nice, because 2, 3 will have been more than 2 or 3. It doesn't have to depend on who your broker is, right? If you have good fees, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be. Yeah, but wow, that's a nice little spread.
And some good enough volumes.
Yeah, yeah. The volumes today, at least going today, I mean 38 million, 38.7 million traded
Shares.
today, and that's
No,
sorry, no, $38.7 million
dollars.
worth of shares, 276,000 shares traded today.
Ooh.
Yeah, in 166 trades.
What is Sajiko fearing?
Sagicor, that's a good one to check. Sagicor is, we are looking at an SJ Sagicor, that's their ticker.
Mm-hmm.
Sagicor Group Jamaica. They ended today down 2.89, almost 3%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they also fell. They closed on Friday at $49.62, and now they're down to $45.01.
Yeah.
Wow, what's that in percentages?
Looking at JMB now. Ooh.
49.62. Almost 10%. Almost a 10% drop on Sagicor Jamaica in 2 days, in 2 trading days. Wow. Yeah. I actually exited NCB,
Yeah.
Yeah, put in the order. I should say I submitted an order to exit NCB. It wasn't through J Trader, so
That goes sometime.
yeah, we know how that goes.
Take back
So I put yeah, I put in an order. So hopefully I got up before this drop. And guys, anybody listen to Jesus Christ, Randy Sam leave NCB? No, that doesn't mean that I think NCB is bad. It just means I don't have any reason to. If I see a drop in front of me, there's no reason at all for me to go into that drop. I still
Yeah.
think that NCB is pretty, not even pretty great. I even still think they're pretty great. I am actually excited about their next set of results.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, true.
I saw your tweet today.
Yes. So I was tweeting to Doug. I had responded to a Doug, big up Doug Halsall, a Doug Halsall tweet, and I put that tweet also in the show notes.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. So Doug Halsall was, I guess, realizing that NCB had fallen in value, and
He was saying
yeah,
he never thought he get an upward average down on NCB again.
which is true, right? Yeah.
It's funny when
I mean,
he was going 200, like, all right, gone. It is like, if you're not okay with the 200, then look at what we were saying. When we were saying, oh, yo, just the other day you were getting updated by NCB at 130, 140. Look at today.
mm-hmm. And right, right. I mean, at the 200, we were thinking, "Oh my God, this is crazy."
Gonna miss the hundreds. Sorry, gonna miss it, and here we are now.
Exactly. So my actual tweet was tongue in cheek. I thought it was obviously tongue in cheek,
Oh
but you
yeah,
can
definitely.
never tell, right?
I was somebody responded to in a way. I said, boy, maybe not clear enough.
Yeah, I kind of kill it. So what I said was averaging down on NCB only makes sense if your goal for your money is a year or more away, and you're under the impression that NCB will still exist and still be a massive player in the region in a year or more.
Yeah.
And then the response I've got are like, "What? So you're really saying NCBs? You don't think they'll exist in a year? Come on, come on.
You guys know better. NCB has been through worse. Where they are now.
Right? NCB made it through FinSac.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh Lord." Yeah, I thought it was clear, but apparently it's not. So let me not assume. Let me be clear, just in case any listener wants me to be clear. I'll say it again. Averaging down on NCB. And that part I think people might not get. When I say averaging down, it means if you own it, let's say you bought NCB at 190, 200, 201, and it's currently now at what we said, 140 a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 140. So if you buy it now, you are reducing your average price because some of your shares that you bought, you'd have bought at 200, and now these you'd have bought at 140. And if you average out the price between those two, which you should, because all your shares cost you whatever the average price is, then it's called averaging down. Buying low is called averaging down. Buying something that you already own at a lower price is called averaging down. And so if you know that, then the rest is that, averaging down or buying NCB shares, more NCB shares follow only makes sense if your goal for your money is a year or more away, and you believe that NCB will still be around and still be huge in a year or more. If the answer to the last two is yes, then you can determine what the answer to the first part should be. That's all I meant. I didn't think NCB is going anywhere. And while I did just say that I have sold my NCB shares, best believe I will be buying back NCB shares. Hopefully at 130 or 135 or something like that. Yeah. But wow, yeah, it's been and JMB, what's JMB's drop been like?
It's not been much, but my thought was that Jamie was taking a beating before this. Right, the week it was already going down. People were selling into it, quote
Yeah,
unquote,
it's been
heavily.
falling. It's been falling heavily, and I know that they have some results due. So, well, no, they don't have any results due very quickly, do they?
Oh, yeah, man, them are real soon.
The March results are their year end,
Yeah.
so they have a little bit of
Oh
time.
yes, you are right. You are right.
Yeah, they have a little bit of time.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Do
We
they
spoke
usually
about.
post?
Say that again.
Do they usually post 12 months before they post the thing there?
Yeah, you usually get your audited,
Unaudited.
and then you get your audited, and then you get your
Yeah, unaudited and audited.
Remind me of the rule is 60 days for unaudited if you
60 days.
choose.
No, you can choose and release audited in 60 days, or 45 days unaudited and 90 days audited.
Aha.
So they will usually get unaudited first. If yes, then
I'm checking right now to see which one they usually drop first. I know that they release their annual report sometime around July usually.
annual report come usually. Annual report different ballgame from the
Mm.
results.
I just thinking about, so we know a worst case scenario anybody, and it's not worst case scenario, guys, because you will hear long before July. Yeah. They usually release audited numbers, and
Okay, they don't release unaudited.
yeah,
Before.
and yeah, they're banks, so definitely not. Yeah. Around June, around the first week of June, at least last year, they did it June 5th. So we're in April now, near the end of April. So I have about a month's wait, I think. Yeah, we have about a month's wait. And well, the people that grow and know the things that, what are the things that I pointed out as an occasional sign. I was explaining to them, how my method of analyzing a company and how we put all the dots together in order to see whether or not it makes sense to buy in. And one of the things was that sometimes you look to see what's happening with the insiders, because obviously the people inside the company know more than you know.
Oh yes, and you saw what happened
And
in right before the close of the blackout period.
not just before the close of the blackout period. So when I'm showing it in grow, it's different, brother. So the man them buy the insiders in Jamie. I shouldn't say the man them, because I don't know if it's a man or a woman, and they have both on the board. And it's not clear. It says an associated. It's
Senior
a
manager
connected
board,
party.
yeah, those people. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
So a connected party has been buying from literally since their blackout period ended, December.
Mm-hmm.
Like so in January, the new quarter,
Mm-hmm.
right up until right up until the last day of their blackout, March 31st. And it's big volumes in a brother.
So we
Couple
are
couple days,
believers.
well. Yeah, man. 2, 3, or 4 million JMB shares. And as the price drop, them buy more. Them buy right up until March 31st. I rate them for that.
Yep.
And that's a nice little indicator, right? But well, with that said, we can start. How you want to do this? How you want to do this thing, Danai? I sent you a link. It should help you with viewing the companies a little smoother than we're
Oh yeah.
used to. Yeah. So if you work with this specific link, it should help you. Um, we can either go alphabetical order or JC's industry order, or we can go market.
Let's go
Your
alphabetical.
choice.
Alphabetical, sure.
Alphabetical, boom, good call. And then we can alternate. I'll start with not 1834, 138 student living.
Mhm.
Currently at $7.15. Hmm. um, one 138 student living. I mean, the two biggest things happened to them was that they were in a little bit of ruption. Me putting ruption in air quotes there with their partners, Yui.
Mhm.
And I think they're now back to having full partnership with Yui.
You're in the
And
school,
as a
yeah.
result of that, yeah, when they're in the ruption, the money did pause. So Yui pays 138 student living some money, and they're guaranteed to pay them some money. And it paused. They worked out their differences, and a lump sum payment was made,
Mhm.
which caused them to have a really good, a really good, I think at least a really good profit.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
So their
yeah,
current,
man. So the thing is, it's funny. They were profit without the lump sum, without the payments. Those
mhm.
periods would have been profitable, properly profitable, like happy, like they'll be happily profitable. Like it'll be some good money coming to them, and then the lump sum payments.
Without the lump
But
sum
without the
payments.
lump sum payments, they were, I think, at that point, without the lump sum
Hmm.
payments, they were good, and then
Nice.
lump sum payment come in, and they were slated to have been to be paid through the rest of this year. On top of the regular money they'll be getting, you will be giving some more money onto them for the rest of this year.
Hmm.
But coronavirus.
Coronavirus. Funny story. So I don't know if we said it on this episode or if it's something edited or not, but we can say it right now. So one of my wonders is the quick ruption. The ruption was the quick ruption. Let me say quick ruption. Quick point because of the ruption. The ruption between them and Yui, I think, was because Yui has to guarantee them
90, up to
revenue.
90% revenue. Yeah.
Exactly. Means if them occupancy
You're
drop,
going where I want it to go. Cool. Continue. Yeah.
yeah, we're going the exact same place. So if them revenue drop to 80%, if them residency drop to 80%,
Then you
you will
get
have to
paid.
make up the 10% to bring them to 90.
Mhm.
But we don't know the terms of the whatever they have agreed.
Mhm.
And I think it's going to be very material now to
Mhm.
see what those terms are, because it might mean that you will have to give them another payment for the time that they've been done, because 130th student living is now empty. Now, on the other hand, I'm thinking of this, right? Students pay for 138 student living monthly, or they pay for the term.
Yeah, I think
Do,
I think
do,
it's true.
do you, so that means that they were guaranteed the money anyway, meaning they've been paid for up to the end of the term anyway.
But all right, so I think so. But my issue with, does does the agreement speak to while school keeping? Is it that you can say, cool, we're not having school right now, so you have to go find the money
Uh,
with your, the day to day thing you do. So the thing you do on,
yeah.
we're not due to give you any money at this time because we don't have we don't have normal business going on. So I don't know if UB has that going on where they have to be paying them or not.
But that was my point, meaning that even if UWI doesn't have that agreement in it, 138 student living would have been paid the money for the term anyway.
Hmm. But
So
was
as
there
in
some
they would,
refund going on with? I know UB had some refunds. I'm not sure about one. I'm not sure that 138 was doing the same.
and that's the research that people can give us. So I'll leave that one and call that one homework. People
Oh
can look.
yeah,
So my projection on 138 student living is predicated on whether or not
it's very dependent on, if they get the
no,
money. Are they still due money? Then why them good? If not,
yeah,
then rough.
yeah. I don't know if, because here's what I'm thinking, right? Forget, let's say there was no coronavirus
Hmm.
around right now. And actually, we can actually pause right here because we do have a listener on. All right. So then I figure, just in case we need to find out, I figure the best way for us to find is to ask somebody who's there. So I have asked a UE student to answer us, and the answer is hello, UE student. What's the answer?
Hello. So when the whole incident started, and the university told all residing students that they had to leave, there was a big issue with the 138 students, because while persons who resided on traditional halls, Rex, Taylor, Chancellor, Seacole, etc., were told that there would be some form of refunds given, the 138 halls were not having that. There was issues with
there's no
whether
refund.
students,
Sorry, just for my clarity,
So there was no refund
just for my
from
clarity, there's
138.
no refunds being given to people under 138 halls, but the
not
rest of
that
the
we know of right now, they are still in discussion with it. There was even an issue with getting persons to come and collect their things. Emails were sent out saying that persons had breached their contract, even though it was the university who had sent students home. So the
yeah,
whole 138 UE thing was a huge, was it was yeah, for about a week and a half. It was a lot of back and forth between the guild and the university and the 138 people. So I'm still
hmm.
not even sure um
End
what the
result.
solution is, or what they had decided to do. I do know that students were able to come and collect their stuff, but I don't know how the refund will work, if there will be any refund. I only know that there will be refunds issued to the other students who live on hall. Just not, we're not sure about 138.
Are you a 138 student?
No.
Oh, I thought you were
No.
on a 138 hall.
No, no, no.
Oh no, fake news. All right, I guess not. But thank you for that. So, if I have it right, then they're probably just not going to give them back. But you said the non-hall people actually got their refunds already, or you is promising a refund?
We haven't gotten our refunds yet, but refunds have been promised to students. Well, refunds for finalizing students, and the students who would be going back, they
Mm-hmm.
want to either roll it over to the following year or allow them to transfer those hall funds for all the time after March 31st. So for April and May, those hall funds would be able to be transferred to your tuition if you have outstanding tuition to be paid, etc.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. All right. That's nice. So I guess we get an update there very, very quickly. So you, all right, so first things I want to preface this with something else, because people might think it sounds bad.
Yeah.
Like, guys, this is the reality of business, right? Where
You
it's
either
a
collect
terrible
your money
situation
or
involved. Sorry, Dana, go ahead.
sometimes it's either collect your money
Or you don't.
or you don't. So, and
Yeah.
sometimes the collecting the money, we step on some feelings.
Yeah. So I just want to say that don't think that we're being heartless, guys. We're not being heartless. We understand it's a rough situation. Having said that, we're going back to the business. It sounds good to me, that I. It's all like 138 student living is not letting go any money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what I like? If so UE has to pay then for 2 months to 138 student living.
Mm-hmm.
We're assuming here, we don't know. So assuming that they have to pay those 2 months up to 90%.
Mm-hmm.
And don't give back that money at all, which would be good because then it doesn't cost them to do it. But in the event that they do have to give some back, if they can also just give some back to the regular non 138 student living people, then that allows you to have some money, some cash in hand to pay over to 138 student living, assume that they still have the agreement for the 90%. No, that stops at the end of the term anyway. So that would be end of May. And at that point, 138 student living would have been doing short term rentals to make up for the summer break.
Yeah, but that's where the issue comes from.
Yeah, because Airbnb dead in the show too.
So,
Yeah. Wow, 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 wow. So 138 student living, but then timing. That's what good investments about, timing. Yeah.
you decide on your timelines. You don't have to be
Yeah.
in a company longer than you think you should be. You decide your timelines. You decide when you're in
Yeah.
and when you're out.
Yeah. If you check the Every Mickle stock calendar, which It's in the show notes, even though everybody asked me about it. I'll pause here to talk about it since I know people gonna ask me and DM me about it anyway. I have set up a link just because so many people ask me, guys. If you're listening to this and you want to know about the Every Mickle stock calendar, and on the Every Mickle stock calendar, we have the dates for AGMs, the dates when results are due to come out, or if there are any postponements, we put it in. If there's any delays, interesting things, we put interesting things on the local financial calendar in. I put on the other day Simon Stocks on the Rocks event, even though it was a stream. I put that on it. I put the dates when I'm going to have grower on it. And even if you're not interested in any of those things, you just want to know about the stock stuff, that's also on the calendar. It's a Google calendar. It's integrated to your Google calendar or any other calendar that you might, other calendar app that you might have. And the link to get to it, so you don't have to DM Randy or Danai right now. The link to get to it, if you listen to this so you want it, is everymickle.com/TESTCAL. That's testcal, TESTCAL. All right? Boom. No. If you care about it, why I said all of that was we can actually work out timings, because it means that, let's assume that 138 student living has their money at least up to the end of May, so that I had to cover June, July, August out of summer stuff. And then Airbnb dead. But depending on how 138 student living does their quarters, they may not have to. They won't be reporting that for a long time anyway. They won't be reporting that until maybe earliest maybe September. And if it's a year end for them, I don't have when the year end is off the top of my head. But if it's a year end, it's even further. Which means that if people think that 138 student living is bad and they're going to face hard times and they sell it down, it's at $7 now with a PE ratio of 11.9 times. If they sell it down, then you might actually be able to buy it up if you think it's a great deal. Buy it up for lower than this. And when they actually put out a surprise, this would be an earning surprise then, because people might expect them to be down when they're actually going to be reporting earlier stuff, which is up. So there could be a win there. Woo! And that's how we feel about 138. You have anything else you care to say about it?
The money that they were supposed to be collecting for the rest of this year going straight on. Additionally, I'm just fine. In their have their
last results?
Yeah, the last results open. Opponents are looking for the results. It's funny, it's at the top. So this result was positively impacted by a variation claim for 2019, first quarter 2020 claim relating to the construction of Irving Hub, adjusting for both variation claims. The group recorded first quarter profit accounted to 33 million. The claim, but the important part, I read all that just to read the last line. The claim for the full 2019 year is a one-off term, while the claim for 2020 is expected to occur each quarter of the current financial year. So you will still have some money for them going straight back into this 2020.
Wow. Did they sorry, I missed a little piece of that. Did they say whether or not did they say when they're paying it? They say how it's being paid?
They say while the claim for 2020 is expected to occur each quarter for the current financial year. So not really. So it seems like it was a quarterly payment. And they haven't quantified the exact amount.
Well, it means that there's some money coming to them somehow, right?
More money, more life,
yeah. Wow. So, I was going to ask you how you feel about it, but how you feel about it, then? Let me not.
To me, it sounds like they should be fine for at least this year going down. Outside of the fall off in short-term rentals, but I'm not sure that was. I don't think it was the biggest money. The plan was that they would be growing short-term rentals to reach up to a profitable position where it's good, very good money for them. Bulk of the money coming from the regular UV rentals.
So,
to me, they're safe. Their strongest money should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm with you there. As I see, as I
last year was terrible, so beating last
yeah,
year.
exactly, exactly. As I see it, is either as long as the UA, the new agreement still has UA covering income up to a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
they should be fine. And the fact that this happened midterm means there's likely fine anyway, because there's likely money already paid over for it.
Mm-hmm.
And unless it turns out that the 138 student living students were paying monthly, but I don't think they were.
Yeah.
I do not know. So those are the ifs that I'd find out. And yeah, I think as long as they don't have to worry about, they should be good until it's time for them to report the summer quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's my back of the envelope thing. So
Yeah.
boom, one down, 87 to go.
Oh, yes.
Guys, we might not be good at deeply on all of them, so don't expect that too much. Next up is 1834
Yeah, so
investments.
we're speaking about not going deep. 1834 investments.
What are they? Because people even know what they are.
Yes.
Most people even know what 1834 investments
It's an
is.
investment company that owns the property of the Gleaner building, I believe.
Yeah, and other investments, no?
Yeah.
Or is it just the
The
real estate?
largest investment it would be that. Would be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, see, I'm doing the wrong thing. I should be checking.
Right? As you said, I gotta make sure I try and not buck up in the same problem by just checking the one that's coming next.
1834.
The 1834 investments. And while you're looking, I'll just fill in by making people know. So what happened, guys, was that when Gleaner merged with the RJR group, they split off some of the things that they did not want to merge. So if you own Gleaner shares from a long time, if your parents buy it from a long time, you inherit it, whatever, you own shares in 1834 also, because you would have been given shares in 1834 investments when that merger and split off happened. And what is in 1834, at a very top level, me saying it, is the assets that they did not want to put into the RJR group, which included, I think, the
Building.
property, as Danai was just saying.
Company data.
Yeah, which included the actual property that the Gleaner company sits on. I have that right, Danai?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that is true, it would mean that they make money from some of the revenue comes from just as long as Gleaner exists, right? So company identification, you're saying, Danai?
Yeah, so they have something there. They're looking at the portfolio statement, the portfolio summary for 2019. They have almost everything in real estate, cash and short-term instruments at 30%, bonds 16, equities 6, and they have some loans, 2% of the portfolio, which is 22,000 Jamaican dollars. 22 million, sorry.
Ooh.
22 million. Sorry, sir.
Yeah. And they said that they put it forward that their principal the group's principal activities are the management of real estate and other investments, and they have 2 subsidiaries. Well, they have one subsidiary, if we want to be technical. They have one subsidiary, Selector Publications Limited, which is dormant. It doesn't really do anything. And the other one, real estate investment, the Jamaica Joint Venture.
The venture investment company.
Yeah, which is a 50% venture between them and who? Just as is money this, brother. What we're doing now is money for people,
Yeah, I was thinking that does survive.
Yeah, we might be a little light on this, guys. We're good, we're happy, we're kind, but we're not fool.
Yeah, so the thing there, Jamaica Joint Venture is a holding company for 2 commercial real estate investments at 34 and 40 Duke Street.
What's that, 40?
So your company is a 51% joint venture. Joint venture partner is real estate in this real estate holding company. So,
well, we don't have to go too deep in that. So I won't even, that was me doing. I won't kill time on that.
Actually, I'm reading heavily.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a rabbit hole. But
That's
it's
the
there.
interesting
So
stuff.
yeah, they do real estate, they do investments.
Yeah.
That's what we can tell right off the bat, and they have a hell of a investment portfolio. I think I think a few years ago it was over 1 billion. So, and it had a lot of real estate in it. Yeah,
Although, you know,
in 20.
that considered a boring company. Not necessarily, not because of the company itself, but because, you know, there's a return coming from this. But I actually really want to look into it more now. Not for the return, but for the interest.
Yeah, me too. That 50% was very uh like I can tell it's a thread that I know I'm going to have to follow. I can tell you that what it actually is it's a company called Popular Printers Limited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's who owns the other 50% of that venture. Which we can talk about that when we're not on the episode.
Yeah.
We can talk about it another time. But yeah, and that company was dissolved. That's so strange because that company was dissolved in 2019. The more I look at this, the more interesting it is to me, boy. Huh?
Rabbit holes.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah, it was
ask us.
dissolved in March last year.
We want to in depth on this later, you know.
People going to want to what?
In depth on this because we're talking about it like this.
That's true, guys. Speak to your licensed financial advisor, which neither Danai nor myself are. We're not giving investment advice on this show, although you will hear us talk about buying things and if we would buy things or buy this, don't buy that, rare. But that is just how we speak. That's a natural part of our conversation. Don't ever confuse that phrase for actual investment advice. Neither of us are investment advisor, and this is not an investment advisory show. We're not carrying out investment advisory business. Boom, Danai, just keep both of us out of jail.
Yep.
Yeah. If you definitely want to go jail these days, it seems all you have to do is good dancehall music, which neither of us do. You hear that? You hear the tune by my brother? Yeah,
Brother.
the tune, bad enough, brother.
Man, need to forward and drop it.
Really, literally, you know, I feel bad. I don't say Jamaica is a terrible place with crime and it warp our minds, you know, because I listen to the. All right, first of all, I listened to that track about maybe 40 times. Because it playing in the background while I was doing something.
Yes.
And I realized it's not annoying. And tune the words and bad. It edgy enough where, you know, you're not supposed to be saying that. But the truth is, that's one reason why man kind of kill. Well, yeah, I'm joking there, guys. I cannot take the canceling. I mean, I don't care. But it's such a good song. I was like, yo, I like one murder. I really that way I put him in a jail for.
And
Huh?
he's promoting the right thing internally. It's like, yo,
Yeah. With the song, yes. With the song, he is. Because I get the tongue-in-cheek nature of it.
I'm not saying poison nobody, but
Yeah, why? Yes, please don't poison nobody, ladies. Please.
Please, let's not do this.
I'm gonna say it's Dexter need for forward back. I finish the tune. The tune, bad boy.
Take him off a tune.
Yeah. Or make him record it and then you know.
The usual channels are recording you.
I don't think he's in the same prison facility as the usual channels.
Work somehow there.
But yeah, the two bad man. I didn't remember where we're going now.
1834.
1834. Yeah. 1834 is so it's a company that really makes a lot of its money from real estate and other investments. And yeah, it's boring in air quotes, guys. No, company is boring it's interesting to everybody, somebody out there. Mm-hmm. But to me, at least, I find real estate companies that their real estate isn't necessarily active, to be kind of boring. The two most exciting real estate companies for me are Pulse and First Rock.
Okay,
actually.
I was hoping you said First Rock. That's the same for me.
Yeah. Because First Rock is the disruption in the industry.
Yep. And they're doing more than just real estate. So when I remember when I first heard of them, they had mentioned that they wanted to do
go into
real estate and actual private equity.
Mm-hmm.
And then when
Yes, yeah.
a little while after, I stopped hearing about real estate. And somebody said to me, in Jamaica, when we talk about private equity, very a lot of companies they come and they sell private equity, and then you just find them going to the usual real estate. Find a place, and it is private equity, owning equity in a private company, sure, but it's not very interesting. You're not really doing much, and you're not really helping the growth of certain company of the economy in the way that private equity companies usually do. You know, find a company, make it a gem, capitalize it, and then make some money, and the country and the company do better. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
First Rock is actually going into private equity.
Yes.
So
right? Yeah. I mean they bought Dollar Financial.
Yes, they bought a majority stake in it.
Yeah. Nobody said anything too much for that, and off the top of my head, I was trying to remember. The NCB used to own Dollar.
Nice to say.
Huh. We'll look that up and we'll get to that part.
I know it was sold twice. Dollar was sold twice.
Well, I mean, don't kill yourself looking it up yet, or look it up and leave it on our tab. Cause we'll come to it for NCV. But 1834. I think they did something. Did they do something interesting the other day? I think they did something interesting the other day in that they had some other investment that they took on. I can't remember off the top of my head, but what's earnings for them usually like?
Actually, I was looking at it just now. Yeah, so earnings for them usually stable to what's happening right now. Because last year, 9 months, December 2018, this is the 9 months they're making a loss. So EPS was negative $4.92.
Ouch.
Or December. So or 9 months December this year, 2019, is $1.08. So they're back in profitability.
And they have a PE at 90 cents, which is what they closed at today. They have a PE ratio of 13.9 times.
Yeah. Interestingly, if you look at the thing there, the audited March 2019, so comparing the 9 months to the year. You sure the PE right?
No, because I'm using a certain broker's PE listing. who I won't say the broker name, no, but I would really like to think it's right. 13.94 and not because I've seen errors on it before. Not usually, but I have seen errors before.
Because it looks to me like they're March 2019. Let me just check it. March 2019, 1834. No, not that March 2019.
So, looking at the annual numbers and then the December numbers. December is what quarter for them? Their year ends in March, so December would be their third quarter.
So I'm looking. All right, so what's happening here?
What do you mean?
I'm looking at results.
Oh.
I'm seeing audited March 2019 in December 31. Okay, makes sense. Okay, you see, I already start foolishness. Cool. Yeah. So, no. Yeah, December. So they're March 2019 last year, right? That the fourth quarter last year, right? It would have ended March 2019, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, man. I was checking the thing.
And their 9 month was December 2019. Then so from April to December.
So they had a nice the profit. They had a properly profitable 2019. March 2019. That last quarter. Mm-hmm. Last year, they made some good profit.
Where it saved the entire company because the end up to their 9 month mark last year, they had negative 5.92 cents.
4.9.
And the end of the year
at 46.
4.92. Yeah, and the end of the year at 46 cents.
Yeah. So it saved that one quarter made them profitable. So I'm not sure. If you look at the thing there, you look at that whole
There
year.
was a one-off, I believe.
Because I'm wondering, so I'm checking up right now. I'm running that in my head. It looks like that.
Yeah, so there would have
Profit
been a
on
one-off. So in the
liquidation
last quarter,
subsidiaries.
50 cents. 50.9 cents. Jamaican cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, you can see it. Yeah, man, that one off. You see the profit on liquidation. So there is that line. So there a loss on it up until December 2018. And then in March, so it was a 24 million loss at the 9-month mark last year. At the year-end mark, it was 58 million. So, yeah, that one quarter, they had over around 80 odd million profit in that one quarter on profit on liquidation subsidiaries. So I'm not sure that they'll do it. I don't expect it to happen again, but I have to check what exactly it was and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. But to their credit, in the 9-month results up to December 2019, they were still running a profit. Yeah, they were still an operating profit also, so they were making actual profit. Yeah, but I'm not going to go as deep into this right now, as interesting as it is.
Yeah.
And I can say that to say that that's how I feel about it. Unless if they can keep the profit performance up from whatever it is that's feeding it, then hey, it's cool. I mean, real estate companies are great for the long term, and the long term here, in my view, is like they're great over 5 or more years, and 5 is a very short part in terms of long term. So yeah, they're great more like in terms of 15, 20 years.
Yeah, people do this for long.
Yeah, long. You see, they have a whole heap of money, or you have a whole heap of patience, much like dividends. Yeah,
and that last one, not that often, where you get that without having the money and the patience first. So.
Quite so. Well, and because I can't help myself, much like you, I can't help yourself. I still went digging just a little bit to remind myself of what it is. So the operating income is 17 million, and the operating income comes from investment income, rental income, and interest on loans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the other income is FX differences, revaluation, and the disposal, but like you can't throw something away twice. So, and investment revaluation, so property stuff and any forex stuff might help them. I mean, the dollar actually spiked quietly. Everything that happened with Corona, people we haven't even been paying attention to the US dollar much. But it's over 140.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some pressure on it. So like BOJ know what they're doing, because if two or three payments easy like this would have caused, I think, an upward push on the dollar, and it's already over 140. Yeah, Capet God know what's up. Him know him doing. Him smart. Yeah. All right. So 1834. Yeah, boring. They're fine, as I say, for me, over a 15-year point of view. For me, again, everybody. That's not for everybody. That's just for me. Yeah, that's how I feel. How you feel about them, Danai?
1834, yeah, man. I think the best what happened. The best people to have it are the people that got it way back at the split, the moment of the split, or whatever controlling interest was there from way back when in this company. If they still the man behind the moves at this point in the company, or whoever, his family or whoever, they're best. One of those companies that you have had for years, and you develop it from scratch, and you're making money from it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're looking to invest in this, and it's not the right now thing in my mind. You're buying this,
it can never be.
You're holding this for quite a while.
Yeah.
Consistent buying it too, or you put a good amount of money in it.
Yeah. either you're really rich or you're really popular. The thing I say about dividends also, which was my tweet,
Boy,
which
dividends.
apparently people get very angry. I don't get why people get so angry when you say things like this, and especially when it's the truth.
No, that's the thing. Andy, that you're speaking about the response you got from whoever that person was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure that person had a problem when you talk about dividends. Because the joke is you're having what the conversation was around you and Smithy. You and Smithy have been talking and laughing about dividends this whole conversation from I know you guys. It's the same
Yeah, for years.
I'm running the
For
same
years.
joke. So somehow when you're running a joke and somebody talking about things that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So you go. You can't please everybody, and some people you can't please everybody, but some people get upset by doing nothing. I know.
That is true. The truth is, if somebody want to vex with you,
them find a way.
Yeah, man. Nothing stop them.
Go to them way for fight. Pick it up.
Oh boy. Yeah, so I think we can call time at 1834. I'll call them the official earnings season report on them is boring. The next up would be Access Financial Services, something that was very popular last year because Proven increased the liquidity of them by selling half the stake. How much did they sell?
Half the stake. Enough shares I'm selling.
Yeah, man. Quite a few shares because Proven owned
majority holder. I ain't know much that go. It's quite a
yeah.
Enough. They own as much
So
as Big Boss there, or if not more.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more, I think, or more. So whichever you get it. But no, they're no minority, and the majority, I think, based on the last set of results we saw, the top 10 list that we saw from them, the founder is now over 51%. So he never has to worry about somebody else coming in and taking over unless he sells himself below 50% again, which I don't think he will.
And that report is which one exactly?
That would be. Say that again.
Which one? December 2019 you're talking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, December results. Is it? I seen he owns 47.
Does he?
I see Springfield. Oh yeah. No. He owns some personal. Smart guy. No, I don't think he reached it then. So Connected Party owns 130 odd million. He owns directly 7,000. But Springfield Holdings, is the number one shareholder, which I think is him. It's 129,000. 129 million, sorry. And that owns 47% of the company.
Okay.
And
okay.
The 130 wouldn't put him 130 the 1 million more shares wouldn't put him at 51. So he's still majority strong too. It take a good amount of money to buy above him. For anybody to here to beat him out. Because Proven is second at 24 million.
Yes, and Proven would have monetized a stake also very smartly, right? You remember what the not APO, what the sale price was?
38.
It's 38. Are you confusing it with JMB?
JMB, no.
Yeah, JMB was a 38.75, but I think the Access share sale last year in 2019, they sold it for, and they being Access Financial here. Oh, sorry. They being is $32. Proven sold 68.6 million shares at $32 per share. Very smart move, and I can say that it was a very smart move.
Yes.
Because it is currently trading at $24.5.
Yep. Good time to go. Good time.
Great time to go. And I think if you thought this, I don't know if we said it on the show. I think we did, but if not, I mean, we knew that the fact that they were bringing liquidity to it, and the fact that I don't think Access's numbers were very hot, it was almost inevitable that it would trend down, in my view at least.
They would need some strong numbers to say, "All right, cool, maintain this." Do a JMB with that.
Yes.
So
yes.
So yeah, it was expected.
Yeah, so it has lost 23.5% of its value in that time. So 23.5% of the value gone in that time. Um, and that's smart for them because, in other words, they sold high. They sold high, and a lot of other people bought low, including QWI.
Yeah,
It's way
it's an
down,
artist we don't do it. So. But yeah, man,
right? So as it is now, I mean, Access, you just said it. The same situation exists. They're the first company to go on the junior stock exchange. So the 10-year tax break is up. They now have to pay full taxation back to the government. And the business itself is not necessarily in the strong, not, I shouldn't say that because people misunderstand. The business is pretty strong, but in terms of rapid, heavy growth, you're not going to see the same growth now that you would have seen over the last 10 years, unless something magical happens. And even though they've owned other companies, they have been expanding. They own a small loans business in Florida. It's a good business, a strong business, but I don't see it necessarily as an expanding business.
They'll need some explosion, something like that.
Yeah, something huge would have happened. I mean, Corona might be that thing,
Yeah, and anyway, the microcredit bill becoming an act might help them. We spoke about this already, driving some of the people that can't really match up to the regulation. They might just buy them business from them, buy their loan book, or just buy the company itself, put them under the umbrella, expand their network. But that more specifically isn't a quick explosion either. So
it takes some time. Well, I mean, if you acquire, if you
to me, if I acquire big enough players with some strong clients, then sure. But the one thing where this small loans company in Westmoreland, this one in Sainty, you have to order that one time, say all the money one time. You get what I'm saying?
That's true. So, yeah, that's true.
And then those ones don't necessarily have the risk. The access risk appetite is lower than out of the others in the market. Yeah, Access really loves business to business. They like lending to established people like a farmer or somebody with an actual business that needs money. No regular man off the street that say, he want a loan and he don't have anything for him. Him just want the money. Why? He not work, he must go hustle. So that's his business. I'm not sure that Access will take up everybody in that market, which will create a market for somebody else who is formal to go after that. But we shall see. But yeah, I agree with you. Access not necessarily going to blow up right now.
Yeah, I mean they currently have a PE ratio of 25 times, I think, if memory serves me. I just confirming. Yeah, 25.7 times, and this is when they're at 24.50, right?
No, when it's down.
And it's down.
And when the market was before the market fall out, 25 was a thing that was market PE.
Pretty much. So but even then, and when they were at 30 whatever, because when they're selling for 32, the share price was higher,
Yeah.
And they still imagine what the PE ratio was like then. Yeah.
So that liquidity thing was a real.
Exactly.
It's one of the things that again, economists will tell you about supply and demand all the time. Things in short supply will sell for a higher price. A PE is a good indication. PE is actually a price on the value you're paying for something. But you're paying for the price, you're paying for the profits of the company. So if something is in less demand, then they kind of will expect to buy it higher. So you understand why lower liquidity companies have higher PEs.
Exactly. Yeah. PE is how much. I described it once as how much you're paying for, how much per dollar you're paying for previous earnings and, of course, expected future earnings.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think the person understood though. They're like, no, that's not what it is. But it's just, if you understand the concept of it.
It's just
so exactly.
That's the thing I introduced to. If you never got that, I'm not going to that's being mean. That's not. I mean a mass now. I'm sorry. So yes, continue, sir.
So hold on. Yeah. So Access, I don't see them doing anything great unless they have some huge thing coming that I haven't been aware of. And that's a possibility because I haven't done a deep dive on them in a little bit. But yeah, I'm not too excited. I think they're overvalued. I think they might still have some falling to come. But I realize I could be incorrect because some of the brokers do expect them to have some large profit pretty soon.
Oh wait, what? Ooh, what?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but
I
maybe they gotta read and do my research. I have to look at it really. So I can't read it, to be honest. There's some catching up after on that one on access. So,
yeah, you know what? It would be. How I see it is, it must be an expectation of something grand from, and I don't think so because I haven't done the research yet. But as far as I remember, I don't see anything necessarily great happening for them that would justify it being so good that not only is it going to grow, not only is it going to grow overall, or it's going to grow so hugely that growth involves them also paying the full tax and still growing.
yeah.
Yeah. So I can't see I can't see
Oh God.
I can't see them going to that level. So as far as I'm concerned, they're kind of overvalued, and I don't see any better for them just yet. But I could be wrong. Apparently, some houses seem to think they're good. But PE ratio of 25.7 times currently, the price of 24.5 times. I mean, okay, okay. I will be spending long unless you have something else you want to say about them.
No man, that's good.
Next up is AMG Paper and Packaging, the saltiest people in the world.
Yo, you know what? When I saw Jamaica's
Jamaica.
first shipment of Thai people.
So AMG Paper and Packaging just shut down them. Finally shut down them toilet paper factory. I say how
God, done with this.
it don't make sense. It don't make sense. The market just isn't there. And then boom, out of the blue, one time, and everybody start buying tissue, and the man them must hurt.
Yo, Jamaica,
The man them,
mother was laughing to me and said, then before we used to love we love the Scott tissue paper. In Jamaica, how much we love Scott tissue.
yeah.
And we can't get none. So we send in America tissue.
and these guys just don't have it. In
Happily
fact,
out of the business.
right?
You know, that rough, you know.
No man, it painful, man. I know that pain because that pain to me reminds of like when you sell a stock and after you sell it, boom, it fly.
Mm-hmm.
I figure it must be the same thing. Wow, Smitty. Big up Smitty. But yeah. And Smitty on top of him game for the last couple of months,
Yeah,
Some
I realized.
Yeah, man.
He's in awe that it's not happening to him. Where the problem is not happening in the music that goes about. Good
Yeah,
things
man.
is
Man start apply the teachings and just start make some money too. Anyway, because Smitty, yes, as you said. But yeah, AMG Paper and Packaging, man, them jump out of one business line. And Jano.
And look how it cost them when them say they're not going to paper when they were very iffy on the paper packaging. On the thing there, the cardboard box or whatever packaging. Alternate packaging the plastic and styrofoam.
Mm-hmm.
And then they spoke later to say, well, we might actually go into it, you know.
They're considering.
And then this type paper boom and then miss it. No start.
Around the world too, you know. And around the world, not just here, not just Jamaica.
That rough, man, no.
Yeah. That rough on them. But outside of that, I mean, well, as we said that the business is doing okay. I mean, the business was doing okay.
Was doing okay.
Still have still
I can see
in
where they
terms
were
of
there because they sell packaging, so I think they should be fine.
yeah, and the price today $1.08, $1.80. I would, and that gives them a PE ratio of 16 times, 16.01 times. But I mean, it would have been so good to see them, doing something wonderful on the market. It'd be wonderful to see them enjoy that. It'd be wonderful to have them be one of the success stories of the
Yeah.
coronavirus time.
Yep.
But when them
Imagine,
missing
imagine,
star,
imagine we got that report. Jamaica
right?
exporting toilet paper,
Yeah.
and
Led by
AFG still
AMG.
are doing. No man, I was just happy time for us.
It would have been, especially, yeah. But
Right.
and I would feel bad now because I don't think I own any shares in them now.
I mean,
I do not own any shares in them currently, and it would have hurt me. I'd be like, oh God, look how these guys in. All right, I probably just jump in, but yeah, but no, the bad them out right now, and their latest financials, their year ends in. They have a weird year end. Their first quarter ended in November.
Yeah.
So they actually their second quarter then ends at, that's what, December, January, February. So their first quarter should be reported already, right? Huh. I should have reported it already. Are they late because of the corona?
I think they're ready for the corona.
Yeah, they're one of those, and a lot of companies are late because of it. Yeah, and I guess that some of the auditors have. I can understand that. I can.
Staff also, and then people they might not have staff in the office where I think they can meet with the accountant and run through the records
Yes.
or some check inventory. I thought that not going right now.
Yeah, and it's not just accountants. Yeah, it's regular staff because.
I'm Bridget telling about his experience. Big up Chase. His experience thing there. Working at an audit firm. He thought because I will go accountant and will tell him something. I'm good. Nope. Sent him out of office to check the inventory on stock for the company at all the warehouses, and he must have account off on paper.
I can't laugh. I did that for years as an auditor too. So I did that for years.
Yeah.
So I know, but I never had to do it as well. Yeah, same thing beside the auditor. Them when them come them question, you're going at the back of the storeroom, and sometimes. And then the funny thing is, the rule is that you do have to verify for yourself. It don't mean obviously that you have to count every single unit yourself, but in my case, like sometimes it means I have to randomly pick one. I have to at least see all of them myself, and occasionally you just randomly pick one and tell them to open it. So you verify that what them says in the box is actually in the box, which means that sometimes at the back of the old warehouse, the dust up out, them say, oh, and we have 1,000 over there, so I forgot to see the 1,000 myself, count it myself, and then randomly pick one for open. And then you can tell when the employee vexes them, say, it's all right, them just leave you in there. Yeah, so it is quite the trip as an auditor. Sometimes it can be fun, sometimes it's terrible. But AMG paper and packaging, you're saying something, Danai?
At least you learn a lot from this. You will learn a lot about companies.
Oh yeah, I long after, years later, things that I never even realized I learned as a result of
the case.
Doing that. Yeah, very thankful for that experience. So the last financials that I'm looking at had them with growing revenue, not by much. 2018, same period last year for 2018, they had I'm looking at their year-end numbers, by the way, not the quarterly numbers. So
wait,
yes,
they have all. No, they have the November 2019.
That the November 2019 quarterly numbers. Yeah. All right. So the November 20, we can use that. The November 2019 quarterly numbers have them ending the quarter with 191.5.
Wait, the results not delayed. No man. Because
the results aren't delayed.
February due. Oh, it's February.
Yes, February, and it would have been due. Yeah. It would have been due in April. Yeah, so it's delayed. So the Q1 numbers have them at 191.59, call it 0.6, 191.6 million Jamaican in revenue, and their
Nope.
profit is, they still have discontinued operations. They're still doing that split out. Oh, Lord. So the total profit was 14.5 million versus last year, they had 16.5. So things not that great.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but it's not that great. And they talk about they got approval for like doing a construction, because they're doing, so they were trying to set up a factory, a new space. Yeah. And that is around the paper bags, surrounding paper bags. I have it right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that factory is for, or you're not sure?
No. So there, I think it's increased production on the already existing lines. I'm not sure they're doing paper bags. Again, remember they said they're considering it.
Mm-hmm. Then what is the factory for? Just general production increase?
Yeah.
Okay.
Companies might say that and then actually do things they might be doing. So let's hope.
Yeah, quite so. So they manufacture and sell printed and plain cardboard boxes. That is what they officially do. Yeah. Oh well. So with all of that said, AMG, I mean, they're trucking along. They're not doing that great. They're not doing super duper stuff,
At least nothing lost is from Tally Paper.
Yeah, right. Yeah, at least Tally Paper not dragging them down during this time.
Then again, I also have to say, there's no at least they're not making profit from Tally Paper.
Yes.
There's no way you can say at least they're not making profit from Tally Paper. So you can't know they're not making profit from Tally Paper either. So that's an opportunity cost. Getting out of the business at the wrong time.
Yep. Oh well. I'm sure we can ball more than they're balling right now, because I'm sure them say it.
Again, we don't own the shares. There are people that own quite a bit, and them balling much more than we are. So, indeed.
Yeah. Oh well. So AMG, I'll brush it off. I'm not very happy about them. I don't think they're doing that great either. So next up is Barita, my dark horse for the year. Who would you tell me if I go say that? Who would you tell me if I go say that out loud? Eh? The dark horse is down.
Somebody's there. I know there's somebody who's saying, boy, look him go talk and whatever, and say whatever Barita, and him wrong. You get me? Like,
well, yeah.
Everything that's going on right now to say Randy did wrong.
Right? On a more important point, I have to go help out nobody who thought I was wrong for saying that, but on a more important point, Barita is not included in the BOJ mandate, right?
Oh, yes. Because they're not a part of, they're not an FHC. They're not.
But I asked that, but are you sure? Because they're under the cornerstone.
FHC is the wider group, so the owning piece, people that own whatever inside. If the group, so where I see it, it would be a group wide effort to say we're not going to pay dividends for that to reach that. But the thing is, I look at it this way too. If the subsidiaries within the group don't pay dividends, the FHC itself won't be able to touch that cash. So say a thing there. Say NCB Cap Markets doesn't pay dividends to the NCB FG. How would NCB FG can't really touch thing there? NCB
can't really get the money.
Can't get the money from Cap Markets.
Well, not necessarily, because I think I don't know if that's hard and fast to know. You see how you can move around debt within a group? Can't you move around assets same way?
Not necessarily. All right, sir. Cool. So, I don't remember this. VMIL, right? VMIL is owned by VMBS. Majority owned by VMBS. VMBS will be the DTI slash. So the VMBS itself is the deposit institution in the group, right? But they're also the financial holding company for the group as they own the other piece of the group, right? Follow me?
Yeah, man. I'm following you quite clearly.
VMIL has shareholders other than VMBS. VMBS cannot give itself preference and say, let me take VMIL's cash
and move it around.
I can't pay out my cash to you only. So how
that's correct.
VMIL get VMBS get VMIL's cash without other shareholders getting cash from VMIL?
They just put a lease on Kiln 5. Stocks nerd joke.
That's a good method, yeah.
That is a great method, actually. It is actually the most practiced method. So you can do it through the expense line, but you are correct in your line.
What I'm saying, BOJ would not be.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a sensible move on BOJ's part. You get me? To put a liability, some of a burden on VMIL to be paid back by VMBS if they really want to hold the money into the group.
That's 100% correct. So I see the logic there. So my thinking was just that if it stopped the financial holding company, then it might freeze everybody within that group. But I don't know that to be so, and that is speculation. I'm going to agree with you and say it's not it. So we say that to say that Barita is perfectly fine in terms of paying a dividend. Yeah, and they're perfectly fine to pay a dividend. And they're currently at $53.05. And that gives them a PE ratio of 20.77 times or 20.8 times. Continue to think that they're my dark horse. I continue to be excited about them for this year, even with.
I'm not sure they're going to take whatever line though. They're going to find these guys are being creative in making money. I'm not sure that they'll say Corona, never mind.
Exactly. And I personally have seen a couple of moves that they've been making since the start of the year, before and during Corona.
Yeah,
before and during Corona. So those guys are hungry. I respect a lot of what I've seen coming out of them. I like them. Continue to like them at $53. And obviously, if I thought they were my dark horse, and I'd be buying them at $70, buying at $60. Obviously, I'm going to still be buying them at $50. You know, it's a great averaging down opportunity. So I like Barita. Next up, we have Blue Power Group.
Blue Power.
Yeah, the guys who do they own or they used to?
They used to.
They do own.
They own some lumber. Yes, they own some lumber.
Yeah.
But they were the guys that had lumber under their umbrella fully and gave it away and bought it back.
Yeah. Bought back some. Yeah.
But yes.
And thankfully gave us regular people some. Yeah.
Interesting, eh? Carbolic soap.
Is made by Blue Power?
Okay. Yes. Blue Power sees strong demand for carbolic soap. So know that.
What, this is a recent article?
Yeah.
Oh wow, keep going. I'm listening.
So they do sell more than carbolic soap, but I think some of the shortfall is in whatever other businesses. Definitely think that be covered by this. But people still watch clothes. They're not going. To be honest, they're not going to work as often. So I'm sure in my household we're washing less clothes nowadays because the work clothes not goes in the closet. Cool. But but they have spoken and said that the carbolic soap specifically has seen an uptick. People buying because it's really quote unquote medical, so doctors use it heavily. People be buying it because they know say, boy, this can clean and we need to wash our hands and rinse for 20 and scrubbing for 20 seconds at a time. Carbolic could be a good one. So right now carbolic soap is selling heavily from Blue Power Group. Yeah, so this article speaks to that. So that's in the show
All right. Share that article for me now. We'll have it in the show notes. So share it with me and I'll put it right in.
There you go, sir.
Thank you very much. I see you share that. I see you share another link with me to saying that
Yeah,
the East Japanese group is no longer
by
going to be.
marketplace.
Yeah,
Gen-
yeah. I didn't think it would bother me that much. It really does bother me. I didn't realize how much I like the
So
food.
we're running any bougie friends wake up for dinner now.
Back to KFC, which
No,
which I hear is supposed to be cancelled these days,
brother.
because they
Because
laid off
because
people,
companies do things for people other than the owners of the companies. That's what people think.
right?
Brother,
Right. This is what
I want
where
somebody to
people
tell
learn
me
in the
what you need to
reality.
do with their company.
Mm.
Because some people, why am I going on this? Why am I doing this myself? What a line I've heard. KFC depends on the welfare of Jamaican citizens. Welfare and support of Jamaican citizens. No, you tell me, brother. KFC depends on the welfare of Jamaican citizens. Like, are people like the food and buy there? You tell me.
You know
Are we
what?
buying KFC as a charity case?
Exactly.
Like, boy,
It's
KFC them, but then we need some money, we give them some. No, you like the food and you buy it. Stop trying to twist it into a weird. KFC is a heavy part of our culture at this point, or whatever. But you can't get up and tell the people, say, oh, whatever is going on with the company. You don't know what's happening in the company. So the company, oh, KFC is profitable heavily because what you do know is KFC has high revenue because whatever. You don't know profits there unless you work there. If you work there and talking in business, then boy, you have a lawsuit coming. But to be talking like that, that's entitled. To say, boy, Jamaica deserve certain things from KFC because you like KFC and buy food there. Nah, it works.
right. Actually, you know what? Let me play devil's advocate and say, yeah, I don't even want to play devil's advocate. For years, Jamaican companies do this thing where they talk about they bring the people in, they talk about being good corporate citizens and how we love Jamaica, blah blah blah. And not that they don't. Obviously, you do if you make how much of your money here.
Mm-hmm.
But you hit the nail on the head when you talk about revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamaica and our financial illiteracy spans more than just stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Financial literacy don't speak to just stocks. It's understanding their business. But one thing I know for a fact Jamaican people illiterate with is the understanding the difference between revenue and profit.
Yep.
Brother, so you make $2 billion. All the Jamaicans here is $2 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But my bills were 1.99999 billion.
Yep.
They don't hear that part. Yeah, but 2 billion something must can left out of it. Yeah, but we know exactly how much was left out of it. I don't actually have that much, but we don't see that. And I think this KFC example is a great example of it. Worse, we judge things on a very visual way.
Mm-hmm.
So him have a big car, him definitely rich.
Mm-hmm.
She just buy her house, she must have money. You know, when you're a big man with your big work and you have a big company, me see in a newspaper, which one of those things means that I made a lot of money?
Mm-hmm.
That's how people think it. And that's how with KFC. So we hear say they make a lot of money. If you check them website, you hear them say biggest earner in the Caribbean, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for years we've been there. And even now in the corona time, everybody talking about how, the line's long. Up to last Friday, I saw a video saying say the cure must KFC because the drive-through line huge and go to the road. And so them can't understand why they would lay people off. Let's bring it to business. They have enough people in the stores to run, let's say, 2 8-hour shifts. And that includes people that go inside. Cause I haven't seen a pack. I haven't seen an empty KFC other than when them said nobody's allowed to come inside because of coronavirus. Otherwise, every KFC used to be packed. But now the drive-through is still packed, maybe even more packed.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have that heavy walk through buy that they used to, which means that they very likely are looking at a revenue drop.
Oh, definitely.
And
How them open it
KFC, exactly, them opening hours edited in some places, them lockdown.
Catherine, nobody.
Exactly. The one in Portmore, drive through only, and then when curfew starts. So that's it, right? No, I am just surprised that KFC now sees the value of all their opening hours, and that's what I'm hoping that they'll see. I know that they've embraced delivery, so that's good. But obviously, if you're cooking in a kitchen to deliver, all you need is the delivery people and the kitchen staff. You don't need as much frontline staff, as you know, which is why.
Randy must be line staff, pay them money.
Yeah, and it's good if companies can do that. It's great for companies to do.
Definitely. Yo, listen, if you can do it, do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but don't get up and tell me that they must because you buy them food as a charity case.
Exactly. We've been lied to for years with the thinking that that a company that makes a lot of money in Jamaica or any country and does great must always act like a charity.
Government part.
We would like it. There's good corporate citizenship, but yeah, it's good corporate citizenship, but they don't exist
for you.
So yeah, they exist for the owners.
They get up and say, "Well, you like chicken, and I want to sell chicken that you like."
Well, I don't know. If you don't like them, let's see. Because the truth is, I learned something from earlier this year, last year, that I will never forget. That rat incident has taught me fully that nothing will get me to stop eating KFC. I'm just gonna be straight up. I'm not gonna be canceling them, right?
To be honest, I've eaten since, and I never even thought about rats. To be honest, so.
Right?
Yes, I guess
me personally, I mean, sometimes it actually makes me even feel sick. But all it means is I don't eat it all the time. That's all it means. I'm not going to ever stop doing that. No, but KFC, it really is a cultural thing. It really is a cultural thing. And I can understand both sides of the argument, but I understand that only one side is making sense. Because, and why I'm saying that is because before people say, oh, these guys are blind, if they keep operations going at full price and pay people, especially people at our home, but pay people anyway, which we would love to have happen, right? But if they keep doing that, it could actually mean that we would enjoy them while we read it on Twitter and IG and we feel good. And then we wonder in a couple of months why them said that them closing down. All right, because a company can lose money very, very quickly. Yeah, and that cash flow game is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if you're only paying your workers 16,000 a fortnight. Rough, but it's so it go. So it go. No, having said all of that, KFC is not a listed company, so we were actually on Blue Power.
Oh, yes. So
Blue Power, we're saying the soap. You mentioned the article with you mentioned and carbolic is also a cultural thing for Jamaica, right? Carbolic, born come see it. So we're seeing the heavy uptick from carbolic. We're seeing the heavy uptick in Blue Power. Well, are we seeing a heavy uptick in Blue Power?
No, interesting line is, however, overall soap sales remain at year-over-year levels.
Which I'm going to take to mean that them kind of drop. Yeah. Yeah. If it was ahead, they would have said it.
And think again, if you look at the thing there, just think about it. Year-over-year levels, and we're selling more of one soap. I mean, overall, all the soap them we sell about the same amount of soap as we sell last year, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we're selling more of one soap, so the rest of the something going on, So
they must drop, yeah. And we know that because if them sell to the people on, even I have had to reassess how much of an impact Corona is having now. Because the soap for people using them at them office, just in case they're buying from Blue Power, office soap probably not getting used out as much again. Of course, you're using more the soap at your house, but you had soap at your house anyway. So maybe that's why you're buying more carbolic and less office soap, assuming that Blue Power had office soap. I think Blue Power also was
beauty soaps.
Not just beauty soap. They going back to the company overall revenue. Remember that them export, they export to Guyana.
What happened with that?
Yeah, so if that is dead now, it might just mean that the carbolic sales just filling in the space for that.
And the uptick is because of a certain thing. So I guess uptick will be there as long as Corona is here.
Yeah, but they reported. You hope.
Also remember the money they get from lumber.
Yes, that is a major point. That they're getting money from lumber as part of the management agreement.
Yeah.
To share space with lumber. I think it's 2.5% of What is it? 2.5% off. Why does that number stick in my head?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say it's after.
I don't remember. But whatever it is, they get money from Lumber every year for sharing space with them. And it may or may not be 2.5. I won't go too deep.
Services, rental property. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But up and they reported their 9-month figure up on which and their 9 months is January 31st, 2020. So thankfully they were one of the few people to get the numbers up before Corona. Profit was down. Yeah.
Well,
but that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Well,
so Lumber was in the numbers at the time they're reporting against.
But even with those numbers, they'll still be down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not helping them. Not would help them. In fact, in the first 3 months, their 3 months report, not the first 3 months, but the November, December, January figures is actually a loss. That's not making any sense to me. Yes, that quarter, yes. Those 3 months is actually a loss. They made a loss of 7.2 million. Wow. Yeah. Even though revenue increased by a little less than $1 million Jamaican, so from 110.2 to 111.02. But yeah,
and the culture thing is the culture down. So admin expenses.
So where's the hit coming from is the question, yeah?
You see that? Admin expenses?
Admin expenses jump?
Compared to 21 million last year.
Yeah, looking at it. More than double.
Yeah.
Did they say why? Sorry?
We'll see.
I'm actually looking at it right now. They did say lower levels of soap sales in the third quarter, coupled with, which is the quarter we're talking about, coupled with substantial one-off costs of 27 millions incurred in making redundant the non-supervisory staff of the Lombard Depot division is the explanation for negative results in terms of profits. So in other words, they had to lay off, on their books, they had to lay off. That's not necessarily striking me as being accurate, But if they say it, I'll take it here. We can talk off here otherwise. But in other words, they're saying that they had to lay off people. And we know laying off people does actually cost the companies more, believe it or not. Because based on the law, they have to pay you at least X amount of salary. And based on when you work there, blah, 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 which is why we're seeing that huge jump in admin cost. It would appear to be the reason for the huge jump in admin costs. I can think of other things that you can do with a jump like that on your admin costs also, and mention this in there. But this is what they say in it: lower levels of soap sales, coupled with the admin costs, the one-off admin costs, sorry, of 27 million. Well, they tell us how much it is. So 27 million, and that's making people, the non-supervisory staff, redundant. Is the reason why they said they had that. Yeah, well, I mean, on the surface, it seems clear enough. So, even though revenue increased, as I said, and they said lower soap sales then, and even though revenue increased, gross profit also kind of increased, but overall profit is down, and the admin cost, the huge jump in admin costs, more than just 27. Because if you add the 27 to last year, 21. You get 48. But obviously, there are more things, or more people hired, or for whatever reason. So the difference between the two, so the difference between 48 and 58, at 10 million, I could see 10 million in increased costs wherever. How I feel about them for the rest of the year, I mean, I think they're getting a double hit. Plus, they know they're about to graduate to the main market, meaning full tax time, exactly. So they're going to see some full taxes.
More taxes.
Yeah. I always wonder why companies don't move to the main market. Why don't companies move to the main market?
Main market fees more than the market fees.
So as long as they remain listed.
And if they list before the 15, that.
Then payback. Yeah, so they are going to list, but they're going to have they are listed, but they're going to have the full tax. And I guess to a little bit of credit, we can say that if they finish the year at a loss, which they should not, that would be a huge loss. They should not, because up to the 9-month mark, they had 44 million, which is lower but not terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll end the year strongly either. I think they're going to take a little bit of a hit. Yeah. So Blue Power not looking too good. Wow, we have not gone very fast. I suspect this is going to be a very long episode. In fact, I don't even want it to be too long an episode. I think it's going to be a multi-part episode.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we can do that, and I think we should do that. So we won't be going for too long. I might still
we don't
cap us.
skim. Because if we start speeding now,
Yes, if we start speeding, we lose things. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So we'll keep going. I will try and keep it quick but going. So Berger, how you feel about Berger, sir?
your faves.
One of my faves. One of my faves. I know it's one of Rand's faves. Big up Rand, long time has been on. So I know it's one of Rand's faves for back in the day. I don't know how he feel about it now. Next time we have him on, we can ask him. But as they are now, they're at $13.55.
Yep.
The most exciting thing I've heard about them recently is that they have a new subsidiary doing some new business or the other, I think.
And that construction still going on to certain degrees. So they still have business going on.
Really? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they do have some business.
You won't have people park. You won't have people parking like a development. Work still going. Go for some horror stories, some Corona horror stories from development sites. Yeah, not necessarily Corona happening, but like the guy, so contractor has his people work going on one day, him go the next day, and there are no workers. Man, them say them gone home because them here say the man who cook the food a cough.
Yo, you can't laugh in these times, boy. You can't laugh for that. The man a cough right now. Everybody I get pre. And the food, can you imagine that?
Exactly. I'm going nope.
Wow. So 13.55 today and 13.55. Yes, 13.55 today. As in today?
Yeah, March 6th. The audited results came out for year end.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. I don't expect it to be great at all. Yeah.
Oh,
is it?
No, it is not.
Nah. Surprise. Yeah. What we're looking at it.
Disappointed with Berger from before.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, I exited long ago, thankfully, and I look at this and I'm happy to see it lower because I feel justified in having jumped out. Yeah, I think the lowest.
There's an EPS on this. Your revenue is 25 billion compared to last year's 2.7 billion.
2.5 billion.
Compared to last year's 2.7 billion, all right? So you say, boy, this drop not really too drastic in the profit. And then 29 million profit compared to 173 million profit last year.
Wow. What the hell happened?
So all the margins were in that 2 billion in the moment.
What the hell happened? And manufacturing expenses are actually down.
Yeah.
But they have that raw material and it's still got changes in inventory of finished goods and work in progress net. That is almost 3 times higher than it was last year. So it was 34.7 million last year. And it is now 99.992 million. We call it 100 million this year. So it is way up. You remember that one of the first times we started looking at it as a buy, it was because of a change in that number again, didn't I? Yeah, but maybe this signals them taking a hit now for something great coming up because it was the same shift in inventories and of finished goods.
But the thing is, the shift in inventory and finished goods seems to be better off for them now than last year. And then,
well, no, it's higher now, isn't it? Isn't it?
Look on the thing there.
No, it's an expense. Is it? Oh no.
The inventory and finished goods is better off this year. they upgraded the
Oh
value.
wow.
Yes.
Yes, you're correct. So yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I think the bulk of it is in the employee benefits increase and the other operating expenses. They both increase. So one by 28 million, 28 million, and the other by
By
whoa,
13.1. That's big.
big
So it moved
13.
from 808,000. Other income moved from 808,000 to 13.9 million. Now I like that the move obviously is big, but that's a big move to not put a note beside. I am looking on their year end. I'm looking on the wrong thing. Let me shut up. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the year ended December 31st, 2019. That is incorrect.
From whoa, they got a big jump there. So
No, that is correct.
no, other operating expenses moved from 450 to 515 million. So that's a $65 million jump in expenses.
Okay, well, keep going. I think I'm looking at the wrong file. I'll find the right file. So.
But yeah, I think the bulk of the thing that came from that. But expenses on a whole went up, to be honest. Manufacturing expenses only one down. Yeah.
So on my, am I looking at the right? I was looking at the right financials.
Probably.
Their financials are as at December 31st.
Yeah, you quoted the. I think you're quoting the wrong line. You're looking at other income, man.
Yes, sorry. To me, that other income, as good as it is, 13 million. I'd like it to be explained nonetheless. But you were saying, I see what you're saying for the other expenses, which also needs to be explained because that's
just $550 million. That's something in a way I don't really sure of. But I'll probably explain further in the financials. I haven't gone through in totality yet. But
well, there's no note beside it, and you'd maybe want to list that, right? Yeah. That's roughly $65 million more.
But they did attach a director statement. Companies don't often do this.
Yeah, not to the fourth quarter.
The audit results, it's not saying anything.
yeah, you don't have to unless something's off, right? But they did this time. They did. They said that in September they implemented a new ERP system, which is Enterprise Resource Planning, which provides a fully integrated manufacturing and financial platform. I can tell you, having been through that sort of change myself with other companies, that it don't mean a thing other than that them have a new internal system, but don't look for it in the numbers anytime soon. Yeah.
So who employees are probably easier now. This one.
Yes. Yeah. They do have a new automotive line, so I think I see them talking about the future and going to the fore. Things that might not be in this is that they have a new focus on retail.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going into the retail market with their own paint stores.
Yes, direct market sales, which is better vertical. Let's hopefully, if done right, this generally brings it to less thing there, to less expenses or better profits.
Yeah, if done right.
That goes sometime.
Yeah, so let's hope. Let's hope that it is done right. But I'll share that thing. And I don't know how much of their. I actually do know how much of their money, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But I'm looking for the retail stores being a nice push, and I hope that continues. Well, it will continue, but I mean, everybody know retail dead now, eh?
The way I see though, thing right exact. Retail thing there. Will going to a Spain store be better than just stopping at the thing there?
Stopping at
a hardware store in general.
Maybe if at the hardware store somebody might have put you onto a different non-Burge paint, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And maybe you can put a better markup. Maybe you can put a better markup on your retail sales. It's all a matter of. I think it would come down to how much of their sales are retail and what the markup is on the retail.
Nice question. How much of the sales actually coming from retail? So
yeah. And that is a question for people to go and dig up. I won't tell people that one. I don't even know if it's public. So there is that. What I will say is that I am not buying Burger anytime soon, personally. Yeah, even though some analysts do seem to expect them to have a boost in profits. So at
Things
13.55,
I've
their
heard that for
PE
quite a
ratios.
while.
What a
Good,
boost for
going,
Berger?
Berger going down, man. Here, said it's going to do good next quarter. So,
Yep, from last year, meaning it's from last financial year, it's supposed to good. I know we're looking on the results, meaning year before last financial year, it's supposed to be good. Last year financial, I think it was good at some point
oh,
last year. I
definitely.
think I jumped,
Yeah.
we jumped out in 2019, and now they have a PE ratio of 99.11.
So you know
Yeah,
things just went bad. As you
yeah,
can see,
but
this week
but
they made
exactly.
less than a fifth in profit.
Whew. Yeah, rough on them. Boom. All right. Next up is Cabrocas, newest.
Probably not supposed to. Yes.
Yeah, newest company on the JSC.
JSC, yes. Cab brokers.
Yeah.
Caribbean
They closed today at $2.11.
Yes.
Yeah, they have that right. $2.11.
Doing well in these corona times.
Right? In these corona times, people aren't necessarily. Well, that's funny. The insurance is our first touch on the insurance industry here with Cabrocas. I don't know how much it affect them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
well,
to get so much to affect them, you'd have to look at the.
What's their real business? Life insurance or a thing there, or what
What do you mean? What else? Oh, you mean like if they make money off the float? If they're a float company?
Yeah, but them float really thing there. Them float really short about was more speaking thing there. Life insurance versus motor insurance. I don't know. I keep hearing all
type of broke
that people are reading there. Because they do the brokerage, right? So there might be a pass through. They might do the sub-sell life insurance or do they mostly sub-sell cash, like general insurance. A good amount of people I know not doing them. They say they not pay them motor insurance. They not say that.
Yeah, well, they do.
I don't know if I should take that anecdote and say that might be a broader mind for people. It's quite a bit of people.
Well, that's a good question. I know that they do how they define their business. Is that they have 4 classes: international insurance, employee benefits, general insurance, and individual life insurance. Yeah.
They think that employee benefits very often is a big bulk, is a good contradictory. That type of thing. The pass through business really they get a big payment from those things. When employee benefits, because you hire 60 man and I did the insurance for 60 people one time, and I have one client and it's 60 people all at once. But then you're sitting there where the layoffs might not really work in their favor. Less employees, less benefits.
But you know what's funny enough? I think it might. Meaning, remember, it's still a pass-through business. These guys aren't doing the insurance themselves. So yes, it might be less a business, but it's less cost also because they do have a cost. And funny enough, for their operational side of business, because they're a small company, so every dollar counts for them and every bit of spend counts. I remember when they're IPOing, they were saying that part of the money is going to be used to install solar panels because they want to cut down their light bill.
Well, yeah.
But if everybody they will work from home, the light bill cut anyway. You cut it. Anyway, you put it, the light bill cut it, and if the light bill cut anyway, you put it. But business is still going on. You suddenly now have insurance employees who are working from home, so your electricity bill is definitely lower. They have outside of that. I mean, they always had revenue growth, and they continue to have revenue growth, and they were profitable. Did they not have a set of financials that came out?
Recent.
Yeah, since they have IPO, they've dropped financials, no?
Hold on. Supposed to, I really think so. I've not seen it right now.
I could be wrong. I believe.
Or did
one of them.
Both. Yeah, man, you're right. December 2019. Numbers are out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember them having some stupid PE ratio, something dumb like, let me see, their PE ratio, their current PE ratio is 14.3
And
times.
that's with tax on the books.
And yes, and that is with tax on the books, and they now are able to avoid tax. They now have a
Not
better
avoid,
management.
they no longer have a tax burden. So, it's all
Exactly,
good.
and they are able to avoid too heavy a JPS bill with the assuming that the system is in, even if it's not. Everybody working from home now, so I'm pretty sure these guys are cutting down the bill. And I mean, I like them. I like them at IPO, and I continue to like them. They're $2.11, P of 14.3 times, and I'd still buy. I'd buy them tomorrow if I felt like it. I'd still buy. I bought since IPO, and I'll continue to buy.
Oh, yeah, I have bought since I built actually. I do like the company.
Yeah, and just on a fundamentals basis, I mean, they are. If you go on a fundamentals basis, that they should be one of the most attractive companies on the JSE.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Especially if you look on PE, current as of today, JSE's PE ratio, average PE ratio, they'll hold me to this, is 22.2 times across the entire market, main and junior. These guys are 14.34 times. That's way below, and are still growing. Shares actually available. There's a tiny IPO. Everybody complained, but I don't think those people are being honest, because if you really care that much, it's right here and it's still just as wonderfully undervalued.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So they're audited. You have the audited numbers up?
Yeah.
What's their profit and rev look like?
Revenue 401 million this last year compared to 385 year before, and profit 38 million compared to 32 million.
Ooh, 38.6 mil. Compared to 32. Okay. Sorry. Which to some of us might mean that they are growing. Yeah, but I think these guys will really benefit from expense management. I mean, there's a limit to how much you can cut, but they're not near that limit yet, I think. Yeah, and the lack of tax soon, the removal of tax on it, because even that number has 7.6 million worth of tax coming out of it. Yeah, 7.6 million worth of tax on top of their books again. That's like 45, 46 almost. Imagine, so that's an easy 46 million to them. Yeah, I like them and I continue to like them. I think they've been having a good year. It'll be interesting to see how Corona affects them, but I suspect that they'll come out of it pretty well. CAC 2000, the company that has always managed to have something happen just in time. Rough on them. The roads are now fixed by Hagley Park. There's somewhat, but they're not Hagley Park, 3 miles or 6 miles, one of them.
No employees in the building?
Good question. I think CSC's biggest things that they had coming was some work overseas, not so?
Yeah, everybody.
They said they're supposed to be part of a program that they were in, like some hotels, and they're supplying the hotels for.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, some big thing. So if that keeps happening, then great. Yeah, so they might actually surprise people, but
Yeah, because the hotel empty now is a good time.
well, they're doing this before Corona, you know.
Yeah, but
so
the thing is, them staff will travel and everything.
that's true. That's true.
So yes,
So
if we was to if we continue,
mm-hmm.
Good.
Would have been great. Them get joke. Well, CSC 2000, I still wouldn't. I personally still wouldn't touch them.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll lay off for that one.
Yeah, and they're looking at their PE ratio is 92.9 times. Yeah, wow, and that's at $9.
Yeah.
That's rough. I wouldn't touch that. Next up is Carreras,
All right,
the old
so the issue with thing
stable.
already, with Corona
Carreras.
is that it's a respiratory. It's affects the respiratory. Well, that's unfortunate. People, these guys not gonna start smoking, bro.
Um. Will people stop smoking because of Corona? That will be the first. It'll be the first, as far as I know.
Yeah, originally.
Yeah.
No, so. Yeah. Well,
and people smoke. People always say, well, people smoke more when they're stretched. I do think that Carreras would have had a drop
oh
in
yeah,
sales.
yeah. Because retail, that right now.
Yes.
So
yes.
and you're not gonna find like people in the office just popping over to the gas station to just buy a thing. If cigarette done,
Yeah.
and you can't get it right now, then what you gonna do?
Well, I mean, they must send feet now, but the truth is, I think there might have just been a supply issue, and this is a fast moving consumer goods. So I always remind people, if you smoke 3 cigarettes a day, if you smoke 5 cigarettes a day, 10 cigarettes a day, and something did happen, the place locked down today, so you couldn't go out, right? And the shop now have no Craven left. Boom. Tomorrow, if you manage to leave and get some Craven, you're not going to smoke 20 to make up for the 10 you lost yesterday, right? It's just 10 a day is what I smoke. So if 10 a day is 10 a day. So I do think they have a drop in sales coming. Having said that, however, they are technically, if you go off just straight PE ratio, they are undervalued at 9.2 times.
I think they'll be more resilient than a lot of other companies.
Oh yeah. Well, they've been around before us and they'll be around after us. 6.2. So would I buy it? Nah, not unless I had a lot of money and I was still counting on those dividends to last a long, long time. Yeah. I have held the secret dream, the hope that they would be delisted. Not delisted. Well, yeah, they would delist themselves. So they would their owners would take them off the market, which might, represent an opportunity for people to make money off them being bought out. But who knows? Who knows? I have no evidence, no information to say that would be so. That's just me looking at the company and the things. I am obviously familiar with the company, but very familiar with the company, but I have no evidence to that. But I have always hoped that, and I continue to hope that, but I don't own any shares in Carreras. And I wouldn't necessarily buy shares in Carreras now either. I think Corona hit them hard and will continue to hit them for a little bit, at least until the sales get sorted out. I think that don't get me wrong, those guys are very good at distribution too, and they distribute themselves. So it go. What's the next one? Siboney.
The Last Dream.
The Last Dream. Don't remind me. Siboney is a dead company and it continues to be a dead company. I won't even waste too much time there. Exactly. FinSac still don't manage to sell it. If you have anywhere from 30 to 50 million, you can buy it easy. And probably if you have a little less, the government will probably still sell it for less. Yeah. Carib Cement. Kiln 5.
Carib Cement results not out.
Carib Cement just dropped some results. Yes, literally dropped, I think, last week or yesterday. Yesterday. So you're getting fresh. Anybody who hasn't checked yet. All right. I looked at it, I glanced at it, and I remember thinking, I don't open it. Say that again?
It's on trend.
For them? Is that drop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I feel about this. Revenue more, profit less. Carib Cement doing Carib Cement things.
Yeah. I mean, if they made too much profit, they might have been forced to they might have found themselves in an embarrassing situation where they might be expected to pay a dividend. I said dividends. So what these days people, I'm sure, going to expect me to love dividends, and I still don't care about dividends. But yeah, EPS, earnings per share, dropped from $1.33 in between January to March 2019. So now it's at 57 cents between the same period, January to March 2020.
Foreign exchange gain this time.
Yeah, why is it
Loss.
now?
Look at the thing there. Look at the gross profit.
Gross profit is down. Yeah, well
And then
down. You said
operating is
yeah,
up.
1.8 versus 2.1
Operating
bill.
is up. So 1.2. So operating earnings is 1.13 versus 1.5. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just things that they seem to have some heavier expenses. Roughly 100 million more in operating expenses hit them, which
Last quarter before this wasn't so great. It wasn't great either.
mm, but was it also a drop in profit then?
Oh yeah, man.
Mm,
That's been,
and
you
yeah,
know how that hope for them. Last year,
yeah.
January, February, I was killing it on Cement. And then
So you go. They said that they managed to get well, let's say operating expenses before other income and expenses for the period was lower by 23%. But the reason it was lower is because the year on year, the timing between the annual maintenance shutdown. So it shut down. The shutdown occurred in Q2 of 2019 rather than Q1 in 2020. So I guess that helped. But so you go. They don't really tell us why, They do like they do like what I'd call an industry analysis of their own numbers, meaning all of these just read back the same numbers to us in a different voice. Uh, they literally just say
this
they say what it is, and the only explanation I am seeing here is them saying that it's because of the timing difference in maintenance, and then they spend the rest of the time talking about Corona. Corona is such a good excuse for people.
yo, man,
Never waste a good
right.
crisis, boy.
I don't know something. Yo, when you open, people always complain about it. I hate to be that guy. I hate that guy. Complain about the difference in the US market and here. Yo, those reports, bro.
Oh yeah,
Those
yeah,
reports. I don't even pressure the
yeah,
company then. Please.
yeah. Yeah, you do need to pressure the company, but the truth is you have to understand what it is and what to expect before you can pressure the
Yeah.
company.
And again, we're at a very different stage in our market. So compared to the US.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, I'd say that, but I mean, the market has been around since before 1969.
True, true. But
Yeah,
look at the thing, the reports from the thing, the 90s and 80s. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah. Back when nobody never really business either,
Bro, what all those? It's
right? It's so
one
funny.
page, couple lines on it for sale. This. Good.
Left it. Yeah. you know, Funny enough, I believe the moment to this, I believe. I mean, we used to be a more advanced market in the past. I think we used to have shorting here
Mm-hmm. Probably, yeah.
way back in the day. Yeah, way back in the day, and the legislation still exists for it.
I've heard people say it's
Uh,
illegal. I
um,
don't think it is. I'm not sure that it is. I just don't think there's any infrastructure. People
the,
actually
what infrastructure would there be though?
on not legally. They're on the brokers end,
The brokers in.
meaning like commercial shorting. I'm not sure that that's the brokers have put something in there for it to happen. I'm not sure that's illegal.
Yeah,
I've heard people say this, but nobody has shown me anything to say it is. You get me? So, that.
can well, it's mentioned in law, and there's things spoken about it in the law, in the act. So,
So is it
not
illegal?
the act. I don't know of it being illegal, but I am not a lawyer, so
Oh, yeah.
let me leave that one alone. Next up is which one? Is CFF, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, under the Derrimon Traders Group, a part of the Derrimon Trading Group, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances. Actually, it was a proud shareholder some time ago, and I jumped out, and they're just continuing to truck along. They ended today at $10 per share. Didn't trade, hasn't traded in a little bit. It doesn't trade very often.
I also pay the hell. You do the market for some time.
Yeah, small company that does very small things, but it helps prop up the Dermon Trader Group. I can tell you that.
Uh-huh.
It's good for them. Derek Cottrell has managed to really build himself a nice little group there with
Yep.
that.
Imagine it must
And
imagine a few more. Yeah, channel.
with what?
Like reaching details gone.
The stage remix?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't at the man. No, and you know him acting like a true conglomerate, meaning like his move to buy the pallet
The
company,
Woodcats, yes.
Woodcats, because him
Efficiency.
use so many pallets.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just straight up efficiency. Was CFF the company that David, big up David Rose,
Oh
JC92 on
yeah.
Twitter? Was CFF, this was the one that he fixed, right? The audited report. So so that is like the biggest thing that has happened.
CF and detail. Yeah. They had some
Yeah.
issue with the audit reports being
Which should never happen. It's shameful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy.
Shameful. And how the auditors allow this to slip past them is also shameful. It's not even slip, it's mistake after mistake. I make a youth not even 5 years out of high school find it. Embarrassing.
Doing science.
Anyway, right? Big up David. Big up David for doing a job. He take him job serious, boy. Yeah. Revenue for them 462 mil versus I can't even say versus anything because I'm looking at
that. Get upset about that. I hate when you do this. Please. If you can put the 18-month time, give me a 12 months too.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? Them not required to do it. So what CFF has done is they've put in the 18 months figure to compare to a 12. And they say it's for why yeah? What is the point of it? Did something happen? Did something happen why they went 18? Because it's not like it happened 18 months ago.
Did they have a thing? Did they have a different reporting period from the rest of the group at some point?
They may have changed the reporting date, but I think that happened when they got bought, and the buying was some time ago.
So what's the point? Honestly, the reason we put two different things there, two different lines for the two different periods, to a proper comparison. So what's the point of telling me 12 months versus 18 months? You know I can't compare those two. So what am I doing this?
Well, they do it. I think they do it. Well, I have this saying that I say very careful. Let me say very carefully. Companies lie in air quotes. CEOs lie in air quotes. Now they can't lie to us, so they do things like this where they try to hide things because you know you can't compare the two. So just get them something. So what I can say is that they are currently at 31, at least as at December 31st, 2019, they had 31.5 million in net profit. And that gives them PE ratio of 28.5 times. And I don't necessarily feel very happy about them or too great with them. Like I said, I was a shareholder some time ago and I got out, and I'm happy I did. That's how I feel about them. CFF is down and dusted. Next up, CHL, Cargo Handlers Limited, the company from Mobe. Yeah, right? It's one of those companies that we don't really mention at all. And they do okay business. Yeah, they actually do very okay business. But it's not as exciting. People don't really seem to notice them. Yeah. I was trying to find. There's this document I want to find, but I can't see it. I mean, how you feel about them? Really, they are the. Are they really a union or the company of workers who work on the port in Mobe, not in Kingston? Is it? It's in Mobe.
Mobe, yeah.
Yeah, on the port in Mobe. Tend to be
it's always
pretty
interesting
steady.
to me when they do well, like doing better than previous periods, because again, nobody talks about them. Yeah, they very often beat their previous numbers.
Mm-hmm. Very quietly too.
Yeah. And they're beating it on lower revenue. The better profit, lower revenue.
Mm-hmm. and they pay dividends for the people who care about
Yeah.
it. They are a dividend payer. Uh I, but I should say conversely that sometimes I can't even say that they're illiquid because they're not really that illiquid, They don't trade every day.
Yeah.
But when they do trade, it's big enough volumes. I think the last trade I'm looking at is them trading 500,000 shares.
Mm-hmm.
But then it'd be 0 days, 0 days, 0 days, then 500,000 shares, and 0 days, and 327,000 shares. That sort of
Yeah,
thing.
but
So I mean,
it's very tightly held.
yes, very tightly held.
See,
And
over
then in
75
December,
in the top three, over 75% of the company is held. And then the very next person is the Cargo Handlers Trust, which owns 9% of the company. So you see how quickly there are no shares left on the market.
mm-hmm, yeah. But wait, that's not necessarily that bad. Could I still leave about what you say, 75 or 71?
Over 75% of the company is in the top three, and that, like a good over. Like,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
yeah, that's over 80% of the company.
Yeah, but I mean, you have companies worse than that
And then
out
nine,
there.
the Cargo Handlers owns 9%. The trust owns 9%. 9.9, so that's 10%. So 10% of the company left, the rest is left after top four.
Oh wow,
So yeah.
yeah, that is rough. 90 odd, you are correct. Yeah, and yeah, it's just not a very popular company, and then I think a lot of people don't think about it, and then other people don't know what them do.
Yep.
But they seem to make money. Mark Hart is
Is
a
it the
name that
same?
is associated
The
with money.
CPJ marker?
Only one person named Mark Hart,
See,
my
I'm
lord,
telling
in
marker.
Jamaica.
Let's check.
That there, yeah, and in Mobe, yeah, and it's been the same hearts that have been there for a long time, very, very, very long time.
He's been on for a long time, so he knows all these names.
Funny, thankfully I haven't been around as long as the Hearts, or if I did, we had a different name then. But they they had a drop in revenue, yet thanks to tight management, I'm going to assume,
Yeah, it looks like
and
it.
and right, and an exchange gain because they made an exchange gain versus an exchange loss
Yes.
in that
That
quarter
was a big save, right? It's not that 23 million loss.
versus a
Yeah,
million.
versus just one. So yeah,
Yeah, gain, a million gain versus 23 million
loss.
loss.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's really the game changer, to be honest.
Yep, because that's what brought them to operating profit of 41 million,
Mm-hmm.
and they kept it through the line. So they ended up with net profit of 35.9 million versus 24 million. You can't knock something that works, right? And these guys understand. They're on the port. They're not even the port themselves, but they're on the port with equipment and people.
Mm.
I like it. If I was a long holder, I would probably buy it.
That was a money man,
The heart,
and they were
yeah,
selling his
definitely.
company.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah, yeah.
stop.
Of course. All right, if it to do this week's Buffett, which I haven't done in a long time.
Oh,
This week's Buffett. Buffett says he likes to buy.
right.
Buffett says he likes to buy. What him like to buy? Him like to buy. He likes to buy entire companies. If I could buy an entire company, I would buy this company.
Mm-hmm.
It's a needed service. It has a large enough moat. I mean, you have to have the approvals and all the equipment and the experience, blah blah blah. And then it has a little bit. It's a bit of a niche, right? Steve Doring, so working on the actual port, and they pay proper money and they pay a nice dividend. I like it. If I work there, I would own shares, and if I had the money and it was for sale, I would buy it completely.
Yep. This is
They
it.
they listed early though, so this is also their first. Sorry, this year 2020
Yeah, they
is the
take long.
end. Yeah, at the end of, well, not really this year. It's going to start next year. So 2021 they'll start because they listed December 28th, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So I like them. If you can have the shares, you have a long term view. I could see somebody going in there after speaking with their
Licensed financial advisor.
that's right. Boom. I was going for quite a little while now. So let me speed it up. I think we'll do maybe
Right.
2 hours some more. And anyway, we
You deny
talk.
it.
Say that again?
I don't think you deny it. Cool. Continue.
Oh wow, me neither. I need to do the same thing. Hell,
You need to do better, sorry.
I do need to do better. So it go. I'm here, and I know there's good food because I can smell it coming from the kitchen. Next up is Caribbean Property, Caribbean Property Fund. I don't know why they have V though. What is the V?
I thought it was Caribbean. Where's the value? Isn't it value fund? Where that?
I think Value Fund. But the ticker exactly.
I remember being value fund. I'm not sure where it is. Cool. FVC.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the company.
I do like the company.
Yeah, those last results. Yeah.
When you said, well, you can describe it. Who they are, what they do. They closed today at 33.44. Do I have that right? Yeah, no, I do not have that right.
33.44, yeah.
Oh yes, they closed today at 33.44.
So haven't traded since last week Thursday, and they closed at not there 33.44. Their company, they have commercial real estate and they rent commercial space.
Ooh, very straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm. So they
rent commercial spaces, and in more than just Jamaica.
More than just Jamaica, yes.
Yeah.
Originally in Barbados, and our good guys at Apple went over there. Remember we're talking? What's talking about this? About Muslims?
We have Barbados. We have. I don't think it was on the podcast though, but we have. Yeah.
Yeah, this is another Muslim move taken by the whole man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Jamaica sometimes.
Yeah.
I grew up hearing boy, so them buy out, everybody buy out Jamaica. Trinidad have this from Jamaica, this and this from Jamaica. And in my time, I'm seeing these guys just buy about the whole Caribbean. Take what we own originally and taking what and putting some more stuff to us. I keep talking about this on the podcast because I love it. Yeah, Caribbean Property Value Fund. Their last results were very nice to me because I was looking at it. All right, so when it just a little after it listed, they have put out a notice that they were buying back shares. And so the current commentary I saw online was, why the hell them buying back shares? Imagine them using shareholder money with them just get from IPO and them buy back shares already. This was in a time where if you look at the company, the results hadn't come out as it. So in my mind, that's a careless talk. I can't get up and just say, we're using shareholder money. I want to say, I don't want, should I say this? Randy, I'm trying to give some 8 if you want.
Go ahead and say it, Dada. I don't work nowhere. Go ahead. There's no more libel laws. You'll be defamatory. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, yes. To me, that's defamatory still. Like the board members can contact you if you get up and they're using shareholders' money to buy back to do a share buyback where you just bought shares from a company and you take it and buy back shares. To me, you don't know what's happening in the company in that period. You know, if they had made money already, so the person was commenting and said that they should be buying property and expanding the business when they're using the money they just got from shareholders to buy back shares. Lo and behold, the period in which that person was speaking, and I don't remember who it was. I was like online on Twitter. The period in which that person was speaking of, you check it, we got results for during that period, and they were so nice. Company properly in profit, nice. You look at the thing there. So I'm opening results now. Revenue, net rental income gone up from 392 million in the corresponding period to 843 million. The share profit from investments was about the same. And interest income was 269 million. I'm talking, this is expressing Barbados law, so it's not million. 843,000 compared to 392,000 on rental income. Share property investment was about the same, it was 11,000 more. And the interest income was 269,725 versus 55,000 previous period. So 5 times more. And they doubled on rental income. The profit was 1.2 million versus 683 profit before tax. Sorry. Net profit for the year, 1.2. It was actually there was no tax. So 1.2 million versus 680,000 profit. This is in Barbados dollars. So they doubled their profit. Barbados dollars is close to is US dollar basically, you know?
It's much more than Jamaican dollars. Yeah, I think it's 2 to 1 to
Barbados. Man.
I think it's 2 to 1. I think it's 2 to 1 to the US dollars.
Yeah. Wait, no. 2 to 1?
Yeah, man.
Yes,
When I was in Barbados, that's what they'd said.
You're right. You're very right. I'm sorry. But
I don't know if that will last though, because they're under the IMF now. Yeah. But on the flip side, they seem to be on top of their coronavirus response.
So they made 1.2 million converted to Jamaican. It's around $8 million. Do I have the right number?
Say that again?
$80 million or so? Yeah, $80 million.
Yeah.
There's 83 million point four. And that's a double. So carelessness to say that they were using shareholders' money
frivolously,
and I don't know, like they made money, profit, and they use some of that money because this is a heavy cash income. This company pulls cash heavily, real estate, you know that though. And their share price was less than their determined valuation, which was the net asset value. So they're valuing the company on net asset value, and the share price was below the net asset value, and they're saying, okay, we buy back some of the shares, and in an effort, so if I own shares today and shares are bought back, then I own more of the company than I did yesterday, right? So my percentage of the company that I own is now higher. You can't get better than that. What's the issue? They made money.
Exactly. They made money, and not only that, it means that the shares that you bought back, because those shares don't disappear. So the shares that you bought back. Sorry, the shares that you bought back at we'll just use the example at $1 are now worth $2 or $3.
Yeah.
All right. So you have not only made a good investment for the fund, because at the end of the day it's still a fund.
So they can sell those on the market, or they can cancel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or so they do that for the fund, and they have, as you say, reduced the amount of shares out there. So you've reduced the supply, so you have increased the demand, right? And then to top it all off, you went ahead at the end of December and paid out the largest dividend in the fund's history for the people who care about funds, for the dividends. So and they continue to the share buybacks. I think they did a share buyback up to right, I want to say up to yesterday or up to this week, something like that. They are still doing share buybacks, and I can't knock them for that, because they stated clearly why they're doing the buybacks, and as long as the reason still exists, they're still doing it.
So
yeah,
sounds good to me.
Yeah, it says to me that sorry, go ahead.
When they just came out, when IPO, the valuation on a PE basis wasn't what I would like. So I passed. But then them doubled it. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, like wow. And I think part of the I know there was some concerns about the price at IPO, because technically the fund also trades in Barbados on the Bayesian market, and the IPO figure was higher in Jamaica than buying it on the Bayesian market. So if you have the kind of money and access to buy it off the Bayesian market, go ahead and buy it now.
But this is your thing. This is your convenience cost. What's buying the IPO here?
Yeah, on a market where, as much as it doesn't trade that much on the JSE, it's still it still trades more than probably the entire Barbadian market. The Bayesian market is not that active.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, so that type of comparison often it doesn't hold up. So you're looking at things. You look at the as I said, the liquidity is very much different on the Bayesian market, so you understand where a lower price might come
Yes.
from. It does not get trade up sometimes. Um, you also look at the company. So if you're doing now if your evaluation say like it's a good company at $40 and you have to do some extra magic to get that 30 odd somewhere else, but you're fully okay with buying at $40, then just buy it at $40 and start worry about boy, said Barbados can get it cheaper. If you're not going to buy it cheaper in Barbados, then they don't have that. That's not your concern, right? So is the moves you think you can make or whatever you wish you could have made versus what you can actually going to make or can make.
Hmm. Um, yeah. What I will say around Caribbean Property Value Fund or Fund Value or whatever, is that, or is it that it was Fund Five? No, it's Value Fund.
Epic Caribbean Property
Caribbean Property
Fund
Fund.
Limited SCC dash value fund. So that's where the V come from at the end. It's dash value.
Okay,
Yeah.
but Value Fund is 2 words.
Hey, I ain't trying.
Anyway, what I would say is that the gentlemen, the team, because it's not just gentlemen, the team at Etley
Epic, yeah man.
have proven themselves time and time again, in my view, um, in terms of their business know-how. And I think to speak against them strongly requires also stronger know-how. These guys obviously know what they're doing. They're consolidating a thing. I mean, I found it interesting. I remember seeing years ago that the Epley guys had bought the real estate in a couple of bits of real estate in Jamaica when they were coming to market and so on. One of the buildings stood out to me because it had some historical meaning for me. And then later on, when this Epley Caribbean Property Fund IPO was happening, one of the reasons was that real estate was being sold, at least that specific piece of real estate I saw being sold to them. So I thought, okay, these are guys, which is something that people do all the time. It's good business. If you can cause one arm of your business or one business within your group to fund the efforts of another business, go
And still
ahead.
make money.
We do it.
Outside money.
That's exactly what we do, yeah. And the truth is, you could have do it all
Yeah.
along. And you do it all along, but now for the first time since you're listed, I get to eat a piece of it. So I like it. On a PE basis, I don't know, somebody might say, should you value this based on a PE basis versus a price to book? I mean,
That's
come
depends on you, sir. You're the one
yes,
valuing it. You're the one buying it. Okay.
exactly. And I pay attention to reality, and the market pays attention in this case at least. Well, to nothing. Who knows what they pay attention to for this? But the share price, which is undeniable, is $33.44, and up to this month, yeah, like April 6th, they're still doing they reported share buybacks done in March, and their PE ratio is 13.86 times, and they'll probably make more money this year because of the kind of business they are.
Now this was just third quarter I'm looking at. So first quarter I'm looking at. So yeah. The rest of the year might just do it.
Might still be good for them because I don't know if I don't know if they'll have any hits. I don't think they'll have any hits.
They might. But then again, like,
It depends on what the business
yeah.
is. Yeah, rental income, the rent still have to pay, investments, they do have investments.
It's a nice answer. Well, you have to pay for this time.
Yeah, and interest income. Yeah, those things. I mean, it's just like the JPS bill. Corona might be here, but best believe that JPS will still cut your light off. Yeah. So I mean, but on the other side, it is a fun. So that again.
You're sticking in the dark.
But well, what I will say is that I continue to respect this company. I don't own any shares in it, and I do think of it as a long term kind of company, meaning just like cargo handlers, I see it as a long term. Funny enough, one of the top owners of it of the company is the 10th largest owner of the company as of the end of last year was the Kingston Port Workers Pension Fund. Pension fund, which just made me think of the cargo handlers company because it's the same thing, right? It's a port workers, but although it's not a pension. Anyway, another low and slow. I like them, but I don't own them. And if I saw maybe a little bit more liquidity, I might be tempted to jump in, but I do not. So it's not for me, but it might be for somebody else, depending on what them investment advisor tell them.
Yeah.
But these numbers are impressive, and they've made almost half of last year's number in one quarter. So do with that what you will.
Indeed.
Yeah. We now are at CPJ, the box company, the box deal company. Yeah, well, the CPJ, or if you bought a box deal, you buy one of the box deal.
Ribs.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was it good? Well, ribs is ribs alone you get, or ribs and other things in there?
Some else, but nice. Ribs are great.
Yeah. All in one go, or enough for more than one meal?
Enough for more than one meal. We haven't.
Oh, nice.
Ribs or the fries.
Really? Yeah, that nice. Eh? I mean, big them up for that sort of innovation. I respect that sort of innovation, especially that sort of quick innovation.
Yep.
Yeah. They closed today at $2.62.
Boy, rough.
Hey, rough on them wicked, bro. Yeah. You know, somebody gonna say, but I listened to you on a podcast and you said you like them. Boy. Let me be clear. I like that sort of innovation. I do actually like the company. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not own any shares in the company. And let's put it this way. They started the year on December 31st last year. They were worth $5.20 per share. As at yesterday, they were worth $2.52 per share. That's more than half of the value. Right? Them drop more than 50%.
I can't even say nothing. You're not worth it. I can't. It seems to me very much warranted. It's box deals.
Don't mean a thing.
It means enough. It means, boy, we need to clear these things that clear these inventory the hotels not buying anymore.
Exactly. That's exactly what it means. You know what it means? It means that the hotel, to me, because we're all speculating here, we're not on the board, we don't know. But to me, what it means is that CPJ sells mostly to hotels. CPJ knows
inventory.
Yeah, and the hotels knew obviously when they would have seen a fall off and when they stop. As much as Jamaica is going through its greatest tourism time right up until Corona. Yeah, you're right. The fall off is warranted, and here, oh my God, I'm going to say it. To me, at $2.62, them still overvalued. Yeah, that's a PE ratio. Exactly, because everything will spoil it. It's a PE ratio of 39.69 times, and that's at $2.62. And I said market average is 22.22 times. So at 39.69 times, way over the entire market, the average market value for the entire market. And realistically, a company like CPJ, maybe they were going to have, I mean, the man, them Salto, them get licked wicked, just as they were getting finding back their feet. Boom, coronavirus box them again. What can I say?
Yeah, and you look at the thing there, when they were talking about we can buy from the outlet, and they listed the discounts you can get those things at. Discounts is margins gone. It means I sell this at whatever, and it's healthy margin on it, and I can no longer do that. It rough, man. If I'm getting at the same price, or if it's even the same hotel price I'm getting at, it rough. Because whatever, I can't cover the hotel, I can't fully cover the retail space. Wasn't there for them that heavy, but to cover the thing there. So they're seeing an increase in retail sales right now. They're not going to reach the level the hotels are buying for them. So why rough? I remember they just come in some issue with the bond covenants and get a leeway from those shareholders, from the thing the bondholders, and here we are again.
we say issues with the bond covenants, but it's so funny. People are recommending it up to, the official houses are recommending it up to relatively recently.
Wait.
Calling it a buy.
I
up
the
to
box
relatively
deal.
recently.
Get some shares in the box deal.
Well, it was before the box deal. Because the box deal is since Corona. Although it was early Corona, the box deal happened, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to put it in context, I put in context something I said. I said this at the last grow. Jamaica had 4.2 million tourists that passed through the country last year. Last year being 2019. 2.8 million Jamaicans live in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
4.2 million tourists coming through the country, right? So even if we say all of the people coming through the country, a lot of them are people on ships, so maybe they're not staying here. It's just them coming, them enjoy the day, and then them gone.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say half of those people come in hotels. Let's say extra million. Let's bring it all the way down. So out of the 4.2, an extra million come through hotels. Those million through the hotels not coming now. So CPJ was helping to feed not just Jamaicans, but also a good chunk of the 4.2 million tourists that
The
come through
tourists
the
were eating them
country.
food. It wasn't really
It was it was
mostly
us.
Jamaicans. And the box deals are
Exactly.
only in two parishes, well, are more populated areas, but still.
Yeah. And the two parishes where CPJ has offices, which Kingston and Mobile.
Yeah, around the corner. Yeah, well gone.
All right, yeah. While we're going 3
So
hours
they did not
now,
call
I think
after
even we chat
they
this at
eat
two
it
and a
up.
half. As a dinner call. No, you're not going to do we will wrap it at CPJ.
All right.
So we can finish off the CPJ point and then I will call that part one.
Good.
I
CPJ
will
is a
put
good
it
point
out.
because everybody talking about it right now. The box deal. So
Yes. Yeah. All right. Maybe one slight pause and then we go back in.
yeah. You're at Mobile and Kingston.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's the two places where they have their locations, Mobay and Kingston, their offices. I think their actual official office might be Mobay, actually. Um, mm,
Yeah, rough man.
yeah, it's rough on them. They just can't deal with it. I think I'm just trying to get rid of that
Yeah.
inventory, which I can understand. What else I like is that they're allowing Jamaicans to one see a lot of the nice food that they used to just get a
Mm-hmm.
tourist that we might not have gotten access to.
Mm-hmm.
Those good ribs tend not to be available all the time. There are a lot of times they just can't get ribs. I should know.
Yeah.
As a man who sometime I like to do a good set of ribs.
Love
Anyway,
it.
yeah, yeah. Baby back to short. Anyway. So I say let's say 1 million people at CPJ would have provided food for over the year.
Mm-hmm.
Those people haven't been there since late February. Late February, I will put March in there now in April. That's 2 months. So take 2 months out of the 12. That's almost a quarter. That's almost a quarter's worth of sales that bleeding CPJ has not been able to put their fingers on. And yes, I'm selling a box deal, and I hope there's profit on the box deal. I suspect there
So,
is.
no, I
But
think at best we get into a hotel at least we're getting the same price the hotel we get it for.
no, you might be surprised.
You think they're selling it less?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would have to bring in an expert. I would bring in an expert now, but it might be taking too long. But here we are. We'll send this out. I'm sure people hear it, and if we're wrong, we will be told.
Yeah,
And
that's new information.
we can exactly new information always ready to do. But information I can end this point on is that with CPJ at a share price at $2.62 with a PE ratio of 39.7 times is still too rich for my blood, no matter how good the box deal is. And if you cut that in half and brought the share price down to $1.30, I would probably say it's still a little too rich for my blood with
I mean, that
coronavirus
time
still here.
exactly. I think CPJ
Yeah.
the best if they can survive past Corona, then them good because the hotels open back, and then as you said, the domestic market has no gotten a taste.
Gotten a taste.
And
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
outlets, I don't think they had heavy sales with the outlets in thing there, the Kingston and thing there. So say no,
Not before.
no, you can just throw in a box feed everyone to not at the same price obviously, but still put some markup on it or whatever. But if it's cheaper than boy that's regular buying some ribs, some corn and some fries.
Yeah,
Every
you
now and then
do.
mine does work out, and the domestic man can eat out some of that food. You have new
Quite so. Quite so. In fact, I don't think they'd stop. If I was them, what happens is that
they should not.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I think they will keep feeding the domestic market, and as they feed the domestic market and it continues to move, you will see uh an uptick. So as tourism starts back, 'cause it's not gonna start back immediately
Yeah.
either. So as it starts to ramp up slowly, you will see them taking back on the tourism market. But if they're smart, they could keep the box deals going, and then it's not too much. You have to worry about people queuing outside, because if you just get smart and pair with a delivery service and people can order them thing online. So this is the
To that
box
box
deal. This is
shots.
what you get in the box
Yeah.
deal, and it's just boom, buy
Every
it, get delivered.
get a box. Get more box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So do I like CPJ in the long term? Hell yeah. Great company. Do I like CPJ for the rest of 2020? Me personally? Hell no.
Nope.
Yeah. If it drops below $1, then I might consider buying it.
Yeah.
Watch what we're going to hear. Sir Randy said on his podcast that you're supposed to buy CPJ or that CPJ.
It's always great
As
to
not
hear
a,
that we say.
yeah, it's always funny to me to hear
that.
Oh God. Oh Lord.
On.
Oh
Come
Lord.
on. You're going to say it.
All right.
No, put that clip on the site. Put that clip on
Right?
the site.
So in this time, we have managed to cover it's about 16 companies. So we have quite a bit to go. I think what we're going to do is we're going to call time on it here. I got a load Danai to go eat him dinner. I got to eat some dinner too. And we will come back either the next episode or who knows. We'll put together something, but we'll come back and we'll continue because we do have to do this. And I do want us to do this, to the state of the market. And it's a good thing. I think people like it.
Good for them.
That's right. It is good for us and good for them, right? Because my little notes I'm making right now, I know I need to go back and check our 1834 part now. Yeah. So, guys, I'm gonna call time on it for this one. We'll come up with part 2 later on, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. In the meantime, I've been Randy on Twitter. I'm at RT Row.
And I've been Denian. On Twitter, I'm H.
Yo, you change your picture on Twitter. Big up. No more dog.
Yeah, my dog is not on picture.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I can hear the pain in your voice.
I can no longer hide behind anonymity. I know.
Oh God.
Boy, you know people guess. Oh, you're Denian, right?
Oh, so no. You know, people gonna say it's me. Let me make it clear so nobody inside the room. Guys, I never forced the man to do it. It's not me telling the man to do it.
You got me also to ask me thing there. If we planned it, we put a suit and tie picture same day.
Oh yes. Well, let them go, I guess, in that one. But I can say I never told him to change it, and I was actually surprised when I saw it. But why not? Put on him suit and I put on him to make people see it look good. I'm gonna put on my suit and look good. So why not? One suit. I might put it on right now and go to the living room.
He's a nice style.
Right? Anyway, guys, this has been earnings season. Look out for us next week again.
Guys, big up.
Boom.
Earnings season.